All right. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Gooned Up Nerds podcast, where we major in movies, minor in comics, and dabble in everything else. That's the first time I've done the actual intro in a while. All right, so I'm not even gonna bullshit right now. So we're still in the middle of our Japanese horror thing. We're still gonna do that. We're still got
done by Wednesday.
We're gonna cap that off with The Grudge versus The Ring still. And honestly, now that I saw this movie, I actually don't feel that bad making you watch that movie. I'll put it that way if you want to know where this is going.
Well, I was gonna say this is my revenge for you making me watch Grudge vs. Ring. So as we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're on the same page. Today we are reviewing Army of the Dead, the new zombie film. I'm sorry, it's really hard for me to say film to this movie. So the new zombie flick from Netflix and from Zack Snyder, the guy that brought you the Justice League.
What's that? Never saw it.
It frustrates me so much more that you're saying that right now.
Actually, never saw it.
I know you never saw it. That's what pisses me off right now. Anyways, so I mean, at this point, if you guys have been following this podcast, it's clear that me and Dylan are complete zombie shills. We absolutely love the zombie genre.
100%.
Dylan has fucking zombie shit. I mean, if you still consider it zombie shit, tattooed on himself.
Yep.
You know, I mean, debate it as you want, infected, zombie, whatever, for 28 Days Later, but zombie flick nonetheless, or at least zombie inspired.
It's life.
Yeah.
Good, bad, horrible, funny.
It's
zombies.
It's an amazing genre. It's a niche genre, though. So here's the thing about a niche genre is that the fans are very devoted. The fans have a certain way that they like things. I know this is the anti-fanboy network, but even as a fanboy of zombies, as a person that even enjoys film, what the fuck did I just watch? I'm not even. I'm going to speak for the fanboys because they have a right to be angry at this. And usually I get mad at people because you know what it is. I'm almost like a self-loathing kind of fanboy because I am a fanboy, but I hate the way fanboy makes me sometimes. And this is a film that brings that out of me, and I completely resent it for that. So you know what? We're gonna start off light since I'm already coming in kind of hot.
Damn,
let's
so
talk
you
about.
Really didn't enjoy this.
Let's talk about some shit that we like about this. And you know what? I'll let you take the floor on this, Dylan. You first.
I thought the movie in general was just a really fun watch. I enjoyed it. I'm probably the only person who thinks this, but for a long ass movie that did not have to be that long, I thought it was decently paced. It kept me occupied for a while. When they had 20 minutes left at the end, it was really 47 minutes left. But, you know, I was paying attention to little things like that. But that's every movie. It was really, the action was awesome. It was nowhere near a horror movie. Zombie movie it's obviously a zombie movie, but it doesn't really follow much to it. There's no rhyme or reason to what's going on or to the method of the zombies or anything. Like it's very interesting. I don't know, I still enjoyed it. I had fun with it.
Okay, so the things that I liked about it, and I will agree with you on this. So I do not think it was paced well, but I didn't notice the length of the movie up until probably the last half hour.
Okay.
The last half hour I started feeling it because Zack Snyder has this horrible tendency to make like 10 endings to his movie.
It did. The last half hour, maybe 45 minutes, like I said, when they were pretty much getting ready to leave Las Vegas, did feel like just on and on and on. It took a little bit to get where it needed to get. That did drag, I will say. Probably I was kind of like, all right, we could end it.
Yeah.
We could definitely end it now. Like, oh, we're still going. Okay.
And you know what? That's Zack Snyder. I think the problem with this, he just doesn't know when to quit.
Does he have a thing with like only using CGI too? Just crazy
CGI?
No.
He's like
the fire too. There was like a part where it was just like a small helicopter fire, and they could have totally just used real fire, and it would have been fine. But it was just so CGI.
It's like,
and
you know,
colorful and ridiculous.
Zack Snyder is like Michael Bay's tweaked out brain damaged brother.
Okay.
Because if I were to describe this movie in like a certain way, it's if Michael Bay had a zombie property and said, fuck zombies. I'm going to make people just like this based on a bunch of shit that I'm going to take from other things. And that's one of my main gripes of this movie. But since we're talking about things that we liked, like I said, I didn't notice the length of the movie up until like the last half hour, because when it started dragging, something happened that would be like, okay, action, something's happening. This might be Dave Bautista's best dramatic role.
Did you ever see Bushwick?
No.
Bushwick's fun, but he's also not like emotional in that. He's kind of
this
like,
one, he is, and you know what it is? He is trying his ass off. Like he is, it's like he thinks this is gonna get him the Oscar. Like he is trying his ass off to act in this movie. And you know what? I appreciated that, because everyone else I felt like was phoning this in, or just playing to whatever their bit is, because some of these actors are from sitcoms.
Okay.
And stuff like that.
I don't think I really recognized. I mean, I recognized one guy. We said that before.
Yeah.
Without spoiling anything, we won't get into that. But no one else really. I don't think I knew anyone else. Well, no, I knew one other Juice from Sons of Anarchy. I forget his real name, but
and he was also in like a few major movies too. But he always played like a bit role. But yeah, like I said, like he was trying so hard in this, and even to the point where there's a moment where even like it seemed like the actor's just like that's like interacting, and just like, all right, dude, fucking tone it back, like just calm down, like this is, you're not gonna get an Oscar for this, like chill, like. So I love Bautista in this completely in terms of character actors or characters, I guess, because a lot of this is cliched out the ass.
Oh yeah,
you even said it before. Dieter, who was the safecracker in the movie, I thought he was really funny.
He was,
because the thing is, it's like he is supposed to be that everyman that's like, I'm just getting thrown into this crazy situation, but he clearly wants to go, and he has this weird like almost like sexual desire to get into this safe.
Yeah, he's into his skill.
Yeah, and like I appreciate characters like that in general. So I did like him. You know, I just thought that sometimes it's like his character should be evolving, but it's not really. Like there's a moment where he actually shoots a zombie and he's like, yeah, fuck yeah, and then
said I couldn't be a killer.
Yeah, and then in the very next scene he's screaming like a little girl again. So it's like, be empowered, or just you know what I mean? But like other than that, things I like.
Did you like all the characters for the main part? Was there any character you weren't a fan of, or thought just like, why were you here?
Honestly, besides Bautista, Dieter, everyone else just seemed so like it's cliched to the point where it's just like I can't enjoy it, because like I said, when we get into this, my main gripe with this is that they take so much from everything, and it's Zack Snyder trying to be like, I will make this movie appeal to somebody. I don't give a fuck whether you zombie fans or anybody else likes this. I will make, if you don't like it, somebody else. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm gonna make somebody like this movie.
I mean, he made me like it. I think I'm the only person though. Most reviews and comments I've seen so far are like, was this garbage?
No, because you know what the thing is? I went into this. I didn't go into this thinking I was going to hate it. I went into this. I had my mindset like Land of the Dead.
Okay.
That was my mindset going into it, because I'm like, it's going to be goofy. I know it's going to be goofy. But the way that they did it, it was so like, there's no soul to it. Like, I just didn't.
I thought the trailer made it seem like it was going to be. Now, it was campy, goofy, it was all of those things,
yes.
But I feel like the trailer made it seem like it was going to be way more over the top on that. I don't know. I went in there thinking I was already angry. It was 2.5 hours long. Like, I wasn't going to enjoy this, but I knew Dana would rather watch this over watching Grudge vs. Rings, so I convinced her, sit down, we'll watch this, we'll get dinner. And I don't know, like, as it was playing,
did she enjoy it?
She didn't fall asleep, and she falls asleep when we watch everything. Everything.
But did she enjoy it?
I think...
Or did she, like, at least not hate it?
So, when I brought up that it paced rather well, she kind of agreed with me.
Okay.
She was like, I feel like, it's not... It didn't feel like we were sitting there for 2.5 hours. Like, it felt like hour and a half. It wasn't too bad. We were trying to guess certain things that were going to happen, and it was very easy to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, it was very, you knew pretty much, like, from the start who was going to go, how it was going to happen, stuff like that. I think she enjoyed it more than probably the last, like, 7 movies I've made her watch.
Okay. Because, like I said before, I feel like Zack Snyder's biggest thing was like, I'm going to make people either like this, but they won't hate it. No one's going to hate it, except real zombie fans or just someone that's trying to goddamn review a goddamn movie.
Yeah. The whole zombie part was confusing. I did like how there were alphas and shamblers. You know, I've seen the smarter zombies before. We've seen that in Land of the Dead. You know, they were smarter, just not fast, and you know, kind of still really stupid and smart. Than the shamblers. I thought it was weird that they came back to life when it rained on them. It was a cool There was a lot of things in it that I've never heard before that was pretty cool, but there was no like ties or explanations or like rhyme or reasons to like why the zombies acted or did what they did. Yeah. I don't know if I'm phrasing that the right way.
No,
but
I understand what you're saying though.
It's not. I feel like there's a role they follow, and there's like this is the rules. This is what they do or how they react or what they you know.
Yeah.
And this was just, I felt like it was all over the place, and it didn't. This is just more action than zombie. Like, we don't even give a shit about the backstories to anything or what they do. Just like have fun.
It really is. It's a zombie movie that gives no shits about the zombie or zombie lore or anything.
Exactly.
Like that. And I think that's what frustrates me about it the most, because you're taking a niche genre that has some diehard hardcore fans, and you're basically just whoring it out right now because you know what I mean? Like, there's no soul behind it. I know people like zombies, but I'm going to make them really like zombies by doing all this fucking extra crazy shit. And I'm telling you, every single fucking thing in that movie is derived from something else. And it's not even because we're in the day and age where it's like everything's already ripped off of something. You can rip off of something and still make it awesome.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Life?
Not yet, but I want to. I need to.
It is the greatest alien ripoff you will ever fucking see.
Okay.
And honestly, it's probably the best alien style movie that's come out in the past decade.
Like, I pretty much know the whole movie and story behind it, and I've seen the trailer, and like I've heard scenes and parts ruined already, but it made me feel like it's a prequel to like a Venom movie with the symbiotes.
It's crazy
and all
because it's if you've seen Alien, you've seen this movie. But the thing about that movie is that they make it seem like, hey, look, if an alien-like event, like from Aliens, without the chest bursting and all that crazy shit, were to happen in real life, that they make it seem like this is how it would actually happen.
Okay.
It's really good if you ever get a chance to see
I'll definitely have to watch that.
But that's the thing. There's a way to rip off of a movie, because when you watch the movie, you're like, that's Aliens, that's Aliens, that's Aliens. But you're so entertained by how they're doing it and their take on it that you're just like, this is an amazing movie. Because I feel like it's its own movie. Like, I don't really consider it an Alien ripoff, even though that's what it is. This, on the other hand, Army of the fucking Dead rips off of so many different things. And I'm not even going to say this, including aliens to a hardcore degree. And I'll point it out as we go along when we go start breaking this down.
I mean, it even stole like Romero's like title theme.
That's the thing. That's the thing that they're trying to get audiences from everywhere.
Yeah.
From all facets of sci-fi to enjoy it, to the point where it's just like, all right, we're a zombie movie. Let's take the most zombie thing we could ever say, The Dead. The Dead series.
Of the Dead.
The Dead series. By the way, this has nothing to do with George A. Romero's anything.
Not at all.
Nothing to do with it. It's its own separate
original, standalone. Everything about it is its own. I mean, no. It's stolen from everything. The plot, I guess.
Yeah.
Is its
own. It's its own. So I guess now we'll get into it. You know, we're in spoiler territory.
Yeah.
And I'm actually kind of proud of us that we kind of did a review without spoiling it.
Yeah, we
kind of
kept our mouth shut.
We did. We did a good job.
It worked out.
See? It's good when I'm angry. So, if you couldn't tell, Dylan's okay with this movie, and I am absolutely not okay with this movie. Which, by the way, he is entitled to his opinion, and honestly, like, even before this took place, I had my friend over, Pippi, who does the Secret podcast with us. She was tearing apart the movie as it was going on, and I was trying to defend it. And she even said, you said you hated this. Why are you defending it? I'm like, look, I'm trying to defend it, and it's getting really hard the farther we go into this movie. So, and just so I have a point of view where it's just like, I'm not totally hating on the movie, but the problem is this movie just keeps like, it's like that little kid in a restaurant that's looking at you and throwing spitballs at you, and it just keeps throwing spitballs at you, and you're just like, I can take this. I'm just gonna hold out. It'll be fine. And then finally you just snap and you kill the kid, and you have to end up in jail for like 25 years. You know, like it's
okay, that escalated 0 to 1,000. I feel you though. I get that.
But
I do that with technology
yeah,
because it doesn't respond to me, and if you can't respond to me, that makes me even more angry, and I want to hurt you.
It's like people. I tried rolling with this movie. I really did because I was enjoying it in the first beginning part. Because like as we get into it now, if we're gonna go into the beginning, so it starts off with it basically in the most cliche way possible. By the way, the last time I saw a setup like this was in Zombievers. So
I was gonna say that movie Bees from like the 90s when it was the boyfriend and girlfriend making out, honking the horn, and then the bees attack them and they crash into a truck. That was the opening scene.
It's a cliche
Sci-fi.
thing. That whole thing. And honestly, when now you say like with sci-fi, it's like or Sci-Fi Channel, anyways.
Yes.
This movie had so many feelings like it was from the Sci-Fi Channel.
Definitely.
But it starts off so a bunch of guys on a military convoy are taking something top secret from somewhere. Something contagious or whatever, or something dangerous. And there's a couple that just got married somewhere, and they're driving either from or to Vegas, right?
Going to Vegas.
They're going to Vegas. You know, like the girl gets all sexy with the dude and tries like giving him head in the car, and obviously he's not focusing on the road. And then the soldiers are talking bullshit. By the way, worst fucking dialogue I've heard between two soldiers discussing things because it was so cliche and so bad. And honestly, the ominous music they put in the background to try and make it seem like what they were talking about was so much deeper was bullshit. Because like these guys weren't great actors either. So it's just like, and they're insinuating also, by the way, that whatever they're carrying is they're coming from Area 51. At least
and they're called the Horsemen.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all that.
And they have like, so they're coming from Area 51. So clearly this might be extraterrestrial, is what is
one of them
yeah.
insinuated.
And
I
then
think the captain, right? Or
yeah,
the
whoever's
leader?
driving,
Yeah.
whoever's ever the lead, Vic on that. And so obviously they're not paying attention. The couple drives into the truck that has the payload. By the way, I don't know if that thing would actually explode that much.
That was big.
That was a huge explosion.
Like, aren't those vehicles like straight metal? Like, I feel like the little car would have been crushed
I'm
in
pretty
and
sure the
destroyed.
MRAP in the front is supposed to be prepped for IED kind of stuff.
So there's no way it should have blew
No,
up
it
like
shouldn't.
That. It
Then
should have
again-
just been totaled,
but
which
then
would have been
again,
fine.
This is done by Michael Bay's brain dead brother, okay? So
Explosions in
explosions. So the explosion happened, the payload gets sent off and it gets damaged or whatever, and it's compromised. So everyone's trying to recoup all the soldiers and stuff. The guy's talking on the radio saying, you know, some shit happened, please send medevac. By the way, the soldier that's talking in the beginning, tell me he did not look like a mixture of Paul Rudd and Tom Hardy.
the sky. Yeah.
Like straight up.
Okay, that's why he looked familiar. I was like watching it like this guy. I feel like I've seen him
Exactly,
in something
but it's
before,
not-
but I've definitely never seen him before.
He looks like a mixture of Paul
I could
Rudd
feel
and
that.
Tom Hardy. And I'm like, I can't tell who that is. And also, I don't know if it was my TVs when I saw this on. Did a lot of the shots look blurry to you? Like
They did some weird blurry shots
Like a
that
blur
were
effect, right?
unnecessary.
yeah.
Like, I'll talk about when we get there, but yeah, I think they did
Because
do
in the
some
beginning
blurring.
they had that, and I didn't know if it was because maybe they filmed it for 4K or something, and I have just HD TVs or something,
I
and it
think-
just looked bad.
I think that was a
That
thing.
was actually just the way it is. Okay, see, that's even worse because I hated those shots where everything's like
They
blurry.
did that with the zombie queen at a point where they were like zoomed in on her, and then for some reason they just blurred out the whole screen.
yeah, it was.
And I was like, why are you, because there was no one else in the scene. It wasn't like, all right, we'll focus in on these people.
I think this was Zack Snyder experimenting with other shit because usually his films are really clean and crisp.
Okay.
So I think he was trying to make it grittier, and it just came off really fucking stupid
Yeah.
because it just made it seem like it made it like I was questioning the integrity of my TV. Not if
some of
this-
the filming I didn't enjoy in the movie. That was something I mean, specifically that Queen scene. Like, once that happened, that was the first thing that cued was like, I don't like how they're shooting some of these shots.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why they're doing it.
I feel like this movie was Zack Snyder going, hey, look, I'm going to put in all the stuff that makes me me, but I'm also going to try and experiment with a bunch of shit because it's Netflix, and they gave him clearly a huge fucking budget for this.
Yeah.
But anyways, as we continue on, like, he gets on the horn and he tells him, hey, look, the shit's like, everything just went foobar right now. We need medevac, whatever. And they're saying, hey, look, if the payload's compromised, get the fuck out, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. And they're like, he's like, and he's still not taking this seriously,
these
by the way.
reactions, I was like, bro, if someone like went from, okay, you need to leave to, no, get the fuck out of there, I wouldn't question it.
Yeah, like the thing that kills me.
Especially if your nickname of your group, the Four Horsemen,
Coming out of Area 51.
you knew you were transporting something that they wouldn't tell you about that's in this crazy container that like nothing can open. I would have been out.
Exactly. It's like there should have been no question, but he's like, "Hey man, everybody get back." They're saying, you know, like just to get the fuck away from it, and then obviously a fucking and you know this is happening. A zombie comes out,
Yep.
bites the first guy, but this is like no
Dodging bullets.
Yeah, this is
crazy like
this
Matrix
is like
zombie.
what you call it. It's almost like
Dawn of the Dead meets like World War Z or something. I don't know.
what were the the Day of the Dead remake? Those kind of zombies.
Okay. Yes.
It was like the Day of the Dead remake
with Nick Cannon, right?
Yes, that bullshit. This film gave me a lot of that fucking vibe. Like the vibes I really
they
got
were,
from
like,
this.
jumping up on the walls and crap in that movie.
Yeah, no, but these are you know what it is? It's almost like this film gave an excuse as to why those zombies acted the way they did.
Yeah.
Almost. But anyways, because that was a remake of a George Romero property, and this is just trying to bank off the George Romero property name.
Did you ever see the sequel
to what?
Day of the Dead. It's another
Bloodlines?
No, it's called Contagion. It's a mental hospital.
No, I
It's
never
so
saw that.
bad.
Ugh.
It's fun. We'll watch it. I'm down.
All right.
Anyway,
Anyways, if Dylan's down for a bad movie, okay, I guess I gotta adhere to that call. But like, I just realized that in my stupor, I just opened 2 different adult beverages. So this is what this movie's doing to me, people. Okay, so all right, fine. Dylan took my White Claw. So, anyways, the thing attacks them in like crazy steroided out zombie fashion. By the way, they had a Humvee, right? He pulls the guy out of a Humvee to run across the desert.
why didn't they drive?
The Humvee wasn't blown up. It wasn't
They
hurt.
missed. They were the ones that moved
Yes.
out of the way and were safe from the wreck.
Which, by the way, I don't know how the guy came out spitting blood and shit. I'm like, how did you hurt yourself swerving out of the way?
Stealing
Like,
steering
idiot.
wheel, I guess.
By the way, you're supposed to have fucking Kevlars when you're in there, people. Anyway, so like, they start running. They don't take the fucking Humvee. They just run across the desert, and the guy's like, "No, we have to get out of here." And the guy goes, "No, I think we're fine. We'll be
It's
fine."
like, we're far enough.
And they literally ran like 2 feet. Like literally,
Yeah,
they went over the hill
over a hill and waited.
And then they hear growling in the distance, like fucking Velociraptor style from fucking Jurassic Park. Like they can't see on a flat plain. There's no high grass that something's coming at them.
Yeah, no, they're in the desert. Nothing there, no trees.
And it's not dark. It's not
And he
pitch
even
black
says,
yet.
he's like, "Oh, it's hunting us."
It's like, what? Like, why? And so, and by the way, these are trained soldiers from Area 51. I don't care how shitty Army training is compared to other things. You guys should know. Get the fuck out. Like, keep an eye
They
on
sucked.
everything. Yeah, they were terrible. Unless they were officers. I'm like, not to shit on. No, I'm going to shit on officers. Officers really don't adhere to their training that
They
well.
sucked,
Yeah,
man.
they sucked.
I don't. I've never served, but Jesus.
No, right? In a hostile situation
Jesus,
like that. After
you don't react the way they reacted.
After seeing a zombie, like something, they don't know it's a zombie, something just hulk out of a fucking vault and kill half of your unit. And you don't.
You run forever.
Forever, yes, exactly. And the thing is, they stop, and then they joke around a little bit for some reason, and then finally one of them gets taken out and gets his jaw ripped off.
That was savage.
That was pretty good. I wish they actually showed it, though, because it looks like they're going to show the whole thing, and they just...
It stops right at the very... Yeah.
Which is annoying, because it looks like they actually spent money on the prosthetic, because you saw how his cheeks were more puffed out.
Yeah.
When you know? I'm like, just show the whole fucking thing. They do make up for it at the end, though. I'll give them that. I'll say
there was a lot of gore in this movie.
There could have been... I'm not going to say there could have been more, but if they were going to get this ridiculous, they could have given...
gore could have been
They could have
ridiculous.
given me fucking, like, brain dead status, or,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? But, anyway, so that guy gets murked, then the other guy finally dies too, and then you realize they turn, and this guy has them under some kind of control, because they follow him immediately, and then they see the outline of Vegas.
And Vegas Falls.
And then they go through the whole, like, kind of, you know what this intro reminded me of?
Zombieland.
That, especially, but then also Up. Weirdly enough. Have you seen Up?
Yeah, but years ago, so I can't really...
Okay, so the intro of Up goes through an entire story of an old man and this woman coupling up, meeting his kids, and getting married and all that
But
stuff.
it's like an intro,
It's
done.
the intro,
Okay.
because by the end of that intro, the woman is dead, and then you get to where the old man is at the beginning of that
Got
movie.
it. Okay.
In this one, it's like they wanted to have some kind of heartwarming thing attached to their intro, so they follow the story of this woman who loses her daughter and goes through the whole intro. You see her fucking going through, like, it's basically the zombie war of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And, which, by the way, I don't know how they decided to fight this war. Did you see the scene where they were paratrooping in people?
So that was playing in the background a second ago.
Yeah, I have
And
the thing
I
in the
was just
background right now.
watching it, just like, oh, I love this scene. It's so
Why?
fucked up.
Why the
would
fuck
you do
did
that?
they think that was a good idea? Why did they think that was a good idea? Like,
So what we're talking about is they airdrop troops into Las Vegas to fight these zombies, and essentially you just get a scene where a guy is coming down very slow in a parachute, and you just see a horde of zombies waiting for him to land, and like you see his face like, oh my god, like what do I do? And he's like using his fucking pistol trying to pop him, but there's like hundreds. Like you got like a 17 round mag at most, like you're dead. And yes, that's exactly what he did. He was just like a floating breakfast for them.
which is fucking stupid. Like,
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God.
How are you? The military is not that incompetent. I'm sorry. They're incompetent, but they're not that incompetent. How are you gonna pull off some bullshit like that? Like, oh my god. And it's not only that. So you follow this woman, right? You go through this whole story with her almost. She finds her daughter finally. By the end of the intro, you get introduced to Dave Bautista. And here's the thing about Zack Snyder. It's like he's trying to bring it. It's like a highlight reel for all the shit he's done. So like this intro with the characters where they have like a picture of themselves, because you get introduced to characters by
I feel like I was watching a commercial when they were doing that.
exactly like
Like
some
one of those like I don't know, like a help relief or a lost victims commercial.
Yeah.
I don't know.
because
It's fucked up to say,
I,
but
I feel like that's what he was going for, but he tried doing the whole like Suicide Squad intro of like the heroes kind of thing, because you get introduced to all the characters. Like they do some crazy shit on screen with this woman, by the way,
Yes.
that you're following through the intro.
so like a little montage of
Yes.
like badass things they're doing. Like
Yeah.
they were saving a couple in a car with this crazy like
Chainsaw.
the Jaws of Life chainsaw, and
Yep.
he's like using it on the door and then using it on the zombies, and they get the couple, but they're bit, so this bitch just shoots them both in the head anyway, like
Yep.
savagely, like, oh, sorry.
Yeah, and then then you get introduced to Dave Bautista, who's fucking murking people or murking zombies left and right.
Yeah.
And stuff. And then, like I said, you get introduced to everybody else. And then by the end of this intro, this woman, who you have no idea who she is, by the way, because this is the only time she's in this movie. They get, I guess, overrun by zombies at the last minute.
Yeah, they're trying to seal off Vegas with like big, what are they?
They're shipping containers.
Shipping containers.
Yeah.
And, they're sealing it off so the zombies can't get out. And she's like holding the army back and holding them back. And then, the zombies just get her and they start biting her. It's like, oh, damn, she did all that work to save her kid. And then her fucking kid runs to her mom. And, like, I get it. Like, I know, fuck that. I wouldn't do it. Like, damn, you're dead. Fuck that. But I'm alive. I'm out. Like, but this kid runs back to her mom while her mom's getting, like, shredded. And they do this, like, joyous hug. And then they drop the last amount of shipping containers on top of the mom and the kid and all the zombies. And I was like, oh, damn, okay.
And it's like, and then you get to see like Dave Bautista going crazy trying to reach them and stuff, but he couldn't reach them. And it's like, what the and it's like that in itself, that little, you could have just had that 15-minute little clip without the credits and stuff obstructing it, and you would have had a solid little short zombie film right there. That was a solid short little zombie film. It
And
had
like
a
The Walking Dead when they had their shorts, their commercial shorts.
It was like, it literally had a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Did.
And it was concise, and you knew what was going on.
That could have been a whole movie in itself.
Exactly. But here's the thing about Zack Snyder.
Hour and a half long, boom, done.
Here's the thing about Zack Snyder, and this is a problem with a lot of his movies. It's like he tries to cram so many ideas into one movie. He doesn't know what to do with it. And that's why I think it was 2 hours and a half.
Yeah, there was a lot of unnecessary backstory that just didn't develop enough to the point where it needed to. All across the board. All across the board.
Yeah, and then so after that, you finally get into the crux of the movie, which, by the way, how long was it between the sealing off of Vegas to where they start the movie, do you think? Because I don't think they ever say.
You mean like a time gap?
Yeah.
I want to say at least a year or 2 years between the impact that it had on the Dave Bautista and his daughter.
Okay. Because they make it seem almost like it's only been like a week or so.
I would say like maybe I would feel like it was only 6 months.
Yeah, because
You
he has
know?
a job. Everybody has jobs now
Yeah.
or whatever. Oh, the whole old
6
crew.
months. later on, we're in spoiler part, so
Yeah.
I'm just gonna later on, like, there's Dave Bautista's daughter's in the movie and everything, not his real daughter, but like in the movie is in the movie, and they have like she has an animosity towards him, and it's because he wasn't around after everything went down. He like kind of hid because he was screwed up from everything that happened. So I feel like it had to have been a year or two, because 6 months, like, yo, if you're gonna drop your father after 6 months after some crazy shit like that,
well,
fuck you.
Also,
Like,
I don't know if they actually say that he's a father. I think he might have been a stepfather or something, because she never really called him dad until the end, and she kept calling him by his first name, and she kept saying, "Well, you never."
it was her mother. She said it was her mother, so maybe you're right. Maybe it was the stepfather, but I don't know. But still, like,
yeah. And honestly, I have no gripes against Batista in this, because I actually liked his arc. Like, I liked his character, and like I said, that motherfucker put his all into this movie. Like, you could just see, like, because there's some like I mean, since we're going a little bit out of order, but it comes up a little later. The reason he has a falling out with his daughter because he killed the mother.
Because she turned.
And
But the daughter claims that's not the reason.
Yeah, there's like other shit. But then, like, when you see him kill the wife, like that whole scene, like, I'm like, damn, okay, I can actually feel the pain coming off of you. Like, you actually did a good job conveying, like, I just fucking killed my wife. Like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Like, he did a really good job. I mean, the problem is sometimes he takes that acting. Everybody else is clearly phoning it in. So it's just like,
Well, I mean, if you look at his acting compared to the Guardians of the Galaxy, he's like a stone. But it's funny because that's the point of like how he is. And honestly, like, I love that character so much, and I feel like it fits him perfectly. No offense to Dave Bautista, but
and the
like,
cool thing is too, and like you mentioned, the action in this too. The action is actually pretty good in this.
It's dope. It's really cool.
There you see some of the Drax moves when he starts fighting the zombies and shit, which is kind of cool. You after this whole intro happened, you fall into Batista. And they don't explain why, because they even say, hey, look, he saved, like, the Secretary of Defense, and he got a Medal of Honor, but he's flipping burgers for some reason.
He's, like, working some, like, shitty deli or, like, a restaurant or something.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't really explain why that happened. Like, did he get disgraced? Did he just not... Was he was
he military or just a contractor, or just, was he there? Like, there's no background to any of this. It's just, like, this ragtag crew of badass people who did some badass stuff, but, like, who are they?
Here, the thing is, like, with Batista, they don't explain why he's, like, in the worst shape ever, unless it's a statement about how, like, they don't take care of their veterans, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It could be that, because there is a message somewhere here, too, where, like, in the beginning they also mention, and they do it in the same scene where you see Batista flipping burgers, because you see the news where they're saying, there's protests happening because people are saying that people are getting infected, because so they're really just targeting refugees or political prisoners and stuff like that, and putting them in these camps near Vegas or whatever. And then the whole crux of this is that they want to nuke Vegas, because the only place that this is affecting is in Vegas. And they seal
it off, which unlike every other movie.
Yeah, which honestly, if we're going to start doing this, because they cherry pick from all sorts of sci-fi and zombie and all sorts of shit. This is like, they're like, okay, let's throw in a little Escape LA, Escape New York, Doomsday. Let's throw in a little of that. Okay, so nothing gets in or out of this place, but we're going to send political refugees to this place because we think they're infected. And the crux is, in the news, they're saying we're going to bomb this city in like 4 days, something like that, right?
July 4th.
July 4th, they want to bomb the city for some weird political display.
They literally said it would have been like, this is where they go full on campy. They say like the president's wording, quote unquote, was, it would be really cool if a nuke was a part of like the firework display, and it would totally be like patriotic. And it was just like, so the president is a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
like,
you do realize there's going to be debris and fallout and all this shit.
Well, they said it was a very, very low-powered nuke. Like they did describe. So it was a Moab. They dropped a Moab.
And then they're like, oh, there's been nuclear testings in Nevada this whole time. But then everyone's like, yeah, but you guys don't have political prisoners there and shit like that. So there's that whole air of that undertone, because they have a debate on there. And this is Zack Snyder trying to be topical. Almost like saying like the whole like that conspiracy with the virus and stuff. Like, oh, you're just like saying like people are sick so they could get black bagged and taken away.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so there's Zack Snyder trying to put in his little political like.
So you
spin
got a
on
little
things.
Pelican brief in there.
Yeah. So, and then anyway, so I'm like once again, but this is all in there. I'm not really even trailing off. This is all within this scene.
This is
the first scene right after the intro with Batista in the burger flipping place, and then he gets approached by, weirdly enough, the guy that we saw in the first Grudge movie, the original Japanese, that's also in Avengers, and I already forgot his fucking name, but he's in every fucking like weird Japanese
Mortal Kombat 2, right?
Yes, he was Scorpion in Mortal Kombat 2. And he shows up
Let's
in
look
this.
his name up. He deserves.
Yes, he
deserves the credit.
Yes, and I got to start memorizing his name because that guy is an amazing actor. Even though he's in a bit role here, and it almost comes off a tiny bit racist when they do a certain joke in this, and that comes a little later, and you'll know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. So he gets approached by him. Dylan's looking up his name right now, but I'll just continue on. He gets approached by him, and he goes, "Hey, look, in typical heist fashion, goes, hey, look, I know what you did. I know that you're in this shitty position, even though you just did the most heroic thing ever, saving the Secretary of Defense from zombies." What's his name?
His name is Hiroyuki Sanada.
Hiroyuki?
Yes. Hiroyuki Sanada.
I'm just going to call him Hiro.
Hero. Yeah, perfect. Hero.
Yeah.
That works.
But
or Sanada.
Yeah. Once again, awesome actor. He's like literally in everything.
He's in a lot of movies.
He's in a lot of fucking movies. And he's effective in everything that he's done. I don't actually think he's actually really played his role up bad. Even that little role he did in Avengers Endgame where he gets killed by Ronin is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, it was epic. Did you ever see Last Samurai?
With that?
With
I saw
Tom
parts of
Cruise?
it. I actually watched it while getting tattooed, so it was on mute.
Oh, you got to watch it. I think they
Yeah.
have it on Netflix. It's actually pretty good, and he's a badass in that movie.
Is he one of the main guys in it?
No, he's just one of the samurai that's
Okay.
in there, but he's like that second hand guy. That guy's always just pissed off and like judgmental of everyone.
Oh, I'm down.
Yeah, he's so fucking.
Okay.
And by the way, spoiler, he does go out because it's the Last Samurai, you know.
Well, yeah, I know the machine gun part.
Oh, he goes like a badass in that one. But like anyway, so he's in this. He plays a bit role in this. He comes in and he offers Batista the job of. So he has to put together a team, and he has to go into Vegas to open up a safe and take money out for this guy.
Perfect heist.
Yeah, to take the money out for this guy, so that it's like what, like $500 million or some shit, some ridiculous number.
It was like 500 million, but he was offering him like 50 million.
Yeah, and then he would like you disperse that amount to however much you want on the team.
Yeah.
And honestly, the way that like Batista's character does it is actually pretty smart.
Smart and fucked up though. My God, when he threw the numbers at those people, I was like, "Oh my God, you're lowballing them." Like,
yeah,
they
but
were
how
like,
else are they gonna get
"Oh,
all
yeah."
that
He's
money?
like, us three will take the 15 mil, and that'll leave the 5 mil split up for the other people. And he offered one dude 250K, and he's
Wait,
like, "I'm down."
Who did he offer that to?
Was his name Dietz?
It wasn't Dieter, was it?
No, not Dieter. I think it was Dietz. Well, no, he offered Dieter a low amount too, I think.
Yeah, but Dieter just wanted to fucking fuck that.
I think
vault.
once he saw the safe, he was just in.
Yeah,
like
he didn't
give a shit.
Honestly, the thing about this.
Was it Dietz, the fucking like social media junkie who?
Oh, but that's a social media junkie. Like, why the fuck?
Yeah, but that's true. He's like 250, bro. He's like, yeah, let's do it.
Well, he doesn't give a fuck. He just wanted to kill zombies.
Gave the pilot 2 mil.
Yeah.
I love the pilot. The pilot's my favorite, bro.
Oh man,
So he's like, oh, 2 mil. I don't care what the job is. I'll do it. And
So
he's like, you don't want details? Nah, I'm down. Peace.
It's better than this bullshit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And so here's the thing. So the thing about that, so he has to put together his team, and obviously he already at this point too, I believe. Once he's told to think about the job, you're gonna introduce to his daughter or his stepdaughter, right? At the camps.
But you don't know they're related yet.
You don't know yet either, but you get introduced to her, right?
Yeah.
And they're at the camps, and you see how fucked up the camps are. Obviously, there's a crooked fucking security guard or whatever that's there, and which is the dude from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, Juice.
You get introduced like she's the typical like bleeding heart soul that's like trying to save everyone. She's bonded with a family already.
Yeah, she's a volunteer. She's helping the family out. She doesn't think these people should be in the camp, and obviously Juice is like, well, I could just say you're infected right now, and you'll be one of them.
Typical 100%
Piece of shit.
Corrupt security police officer, douchebag. And obviously these camps and stuff, I have a feeling this is also him trying to be political. This is kind of like the immigration camps or whatever, you know what I mean? The mother that Batista's daughter.
Gita. Oh, no.
Gita's
the mother is
Gita.
Gita. Was it Kate?
Yeah, it's
I think
Kate.
it was Kate, right?
It's
Is the
Kate.
daughter's name?
Yeah, so Gita is trying to tell the Kate that like, hey, look, please take care of my kids. I'm going into Vegas to try and get some money and come back.
So they could get out of the camps because essentially
They have to buy their way out.
they had someone which I thought was not, I don't want to say cool, but it was interesting. They called them the Coyote, who would bring them into Las Vegas to get the money from the slot machines so they could buy their way out of these camps.
Yeah.
And isn't that what they call the person who helps like people
Yeah,
get
they
into
go
the
over the
States
border.
essentially, and
Yeah,
they
Coyote,
usually fucking
which-
scam them. And
Yeah,
like,
which is weird that
it's
they
fucked
picked
up.
the whitest Kristen Stewart
Yeah.
impersonating girl that I've ever fucking seen.
Has she been in anything? I don't know who she is.
I've never seen her, and I have a feeling she's probably from like TV too, as opposed
Okay.
to like.
I
film.
loved her character, but
but
I've
she
never
was,
seen her.
once
Very
again,
generic.
Very generic and typical. Also, I'm the weird foreign person that's gonna take the edgy foreign person that's gonna take you into the hot zone and try to get you out. Number one, how does she not have some kind of tan, sunburn, anything like
Yeah,
that?
she's like my color white.
She is white as fuck.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know, they try to make her look so edgy and stuff. Why does she have eyeliner? She still has eyeliner in the fucking desert, like
Thick ass eyeliner.
like emo eyeliner.
Like 2004 to 2007
like,
eyeliner.
without any of the tack gear, you'd think she'd just be some chick hanging out at the mall smoking
Yep.
cigarettes and bumming cigarettes off of people. Like, it's just, I'm like,
Bleach blonde hair.
like, at least make her look a little dirty, because she didn't even look dirty. Like,
They do make it sound like she runs a lot of the time, though.
what do you mean?
Well, when they were explaining that, like, she goes in with these people, but she always hangs back, and it seems that she left a few people behind. Like,
Oh,
she's
yeah,
making
no,
up
no,
her
no.
penance
Oh,
when
yeah,
she
yeah,
goes
yeah,
back
yeah,
in
yeah.
there for doing this
Yeah, true.
specific run.
Yeah. And the thing that bothers me about like her character, as well as a lot of the other characters, 'cause now we're getting into the whole so after you introduce to Kate and Gita and then their whole situation, he starts putting together the team, Batista.
The team.
And it's
The
literally
Rick and Morty.
Thank you.
Thank
you. This is exactly what I was going to compare it
actually
to.
have never really, I don't think, watched a heist movie other than maybe Gone in 60 Seconds, and I don't remember that movie at all, other than Nick Cage is in it.
You know what's funny? That's the one heist movie and Nick Cage movie I haven't seen yet.
Really?
Yeah, I got to watch that now.
Yeah, I've never really, I don't do heist movies.
So you've never seen Ocean's 11, 13?
No,
You've never
never.
seen The Italian Job?
No.
So
Something about, like, I feel like the Italian Job, that
Fast
has
and,
a
Fast
lot
and
of...
Furious?
Okay, fair enough. Fast and Furious I've seen. All right, fine.
I mean, this is
I've
just
seen
without
all
all
of
the
them.
fucking car bullshit.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I skipped over Italian Job. I remember that coming out and just
That's
never
actually
giving
really
it.
fun.
Yeah?
The one with Jason Statham, it's fun.
Okay.
It's fun.
But yeah, the first thing that came to my mind is when they're like, put your team together, divide the money how you want. I was like, oh my God, this is that Rick and Morty episode. Holy shit.
Thank you. I'm like, there's no apprehension. No one seems to care that it's about zombies, because I know he disclosed it to a few people saying it was zombies.
Yeah.
And they were just like, literally, you son of a bitch, I'm in. Like, come
Yeah.
on, every single one of them. And it was funny when the pilot did it, but everybody else,
Pilot was my favorite.
like Vans, the what you call it, the guy with the chainsaw.
Oh yeah, he was like a physical therapist.
Yeah,
now.
and he was just like, he made it seem like, oh, I have all this PTSD, I don't think I'll ever go back there. But then he immediately just goes, no, I'm going. Like,
Yeah.
it's just like, what the what? Like, he's like, yeah, I mean, I have PTSD, but it's fucking, like, let's do like $2 million, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like, everyone seemed to have no apprehension about going.
Well, no, he made 15.
Oh yeah, no,
he was the original.
He was one of the OG
family,
guys. Yeah,
they
he was the
called.
there you go, throwing in Fast and Furious stuff. He's just
So
trying to throw in shit there.
The mechanic, the PT guy, and Dave Bautista were the family. I'm gonna assume the
Yeah.
chick that got crushed by the shipping container
yeah,
was family
would have
too.
been too.
But they just, that's over.
She's dead.
And then, they get the pilot and a few other people, and they offer them chump change. Essentially, they find the guy to safe lock or crack the safe.
The safe
Dieter.
cracker, Dieter, and
Then they find the social media guy who just breaks into Vegas and like shoots fucking zombies in the head and shit.
Yep.
He's like, oh, double headshot, triple headshot.
Yep,
like,
that guy, because he's technically like the ringer for them when it
Yeah.
comes to fighting. And then he brought like two other
He
people.
brought two people. One of them completely bitched out. He's like, oh, wait, you was serious? He's like, I ain't fucking with zombies. Y'all gonna die. And then he just leaves.
Which is funny because he's probably the smartest one out of everyone.
100%. I wouldn't be
Which
him.
is hilarious.
I would be Dietz, the guy who's like, yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
And honestly, people, I'm telling you this right now. If you watch the trailer to this movie, a lot of the trailer is literally the first 20 minutes of this movie. Because
Yeah,
a lot
honestly, some of it's like just the quick intro part where they're taking Vegas down.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, the trailer was pretty good.
it
Didn't spoil shit.
It didn't. But that's also because it's a 2.5 hour long movie. And like I was saying, so they go through the whole montage of gathering all of their guys. And then after that, they go through the whole montage of them gathering all of their old gear and shit. Like, everyone's, like, gearing up and getting ready and all that other shit. And it's like, okay, so he's, like, hitting every mark for a heist movie. Every single mark.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, too, that kind of angers me a little bit. So they finally get to where it's just like, so how are we going to get in? And he goes, okay, I kind of know someone. And he goes to the stepdaughter.
Yeah.
And I don't know, did they actually introduce their relationship at this point where they had the flashbacks and shit?
I want to say they probably did that right before that scene.
Yeah, I'm looking at the recap of the thing right now.
Where they're getting all their gear.
Yeah, they're getting all their gear right now. But I think at this point they might have like shown it because like after a while it was right before the scene they show it.
They definitely show the flashback right before they get to the camp.
Yeah, and then you finally realize that it's his daughter that's in the camp that knows Gita and those kids. Basically, he's just saying, hey, look, I need you to help me get into the quarantine area or whatever. Which, honestly, this is what angered me about it. So it's like, clearly, the daughter had to be a part of this story to have emotional impact on it. And they're like, how the fuck are we going to get her to do this? Oh, let's just have her kind of sneak in. That's why Gita comes in, all this other stuff. Because then later you find out that Gita actually went in after Kate said, you shouldn't do this, don't do this. She goes in anyways with the coyote and 2 other people to the
and never comes out.
And they don't come out. So by the time that she says yes to Dave Bautista is trying to like once again trying to earn his Oscar, acting his ass off with this chick, and trying to like, hey, look, like I had to like take care of your mother, that kind of she's trying to patch up something as he's trying to ask for something at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's coming off insincere, and she's like kind of pushing back, but then eventually she says yes to this because he says something about the money and helping the people and all that stuff. He sells the idea to her.
Oh, doesn't he say like, doesn't he offer his entire cut to her?
No, he just said
he doesn't do that yet.
No, he
because he does offer his entire cut. He offers her 15 mil to like reset her life, go to college, whatever.
Oh, I don't know.
I was
if
like,
that
holy shit!
No,
like,
I don't know if that was just part he calculated that in there or he was just
no, but he definitely did.
Did he say
at
15
one point say like, I'll give you 15. I think that's what it is. He says like, listen, I'll give you 15 mil if you can find someone to get me in. And like he's like, you could go to college, you can do this, you can do that, and that's when you kind of realize like, oh, this is the stepdaughter or the daughter. Like I'm still not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Gotcha.
that's what happened.
All right.
And then they do the generic. Oh, we skipped the generic breakdown. They do like the all right, you're gonna go in, you're gonna do this,
no, that's
you're gonna do this.
Oh yeah, okay, because they didn't figure out a way in yet. So yeah, you're right. And it's actually in the background right now, which honestly, that is most of the trailer. That breakdown or whatever.
Yes, it is.
So that's why I'm saying
shit that actually doesn't happen.
Yes, which is funny because they make it seem so fucking cartoonish, and that's the point. But like, so he's going over this Tanaka. That's his character's name. He's going over this. The guy that hired them is going over the plan and saying, "Hey, look, and they make it seem so fucking easy." And you know what this reminds me of? Shaun of the Dead.
Yes.
That is a straight Shaun of the Dead.
Going to the pub.
Yes, go to the pub, and everything will just blow over. Like it literally is that.
And I love how Dieter's like, "Wait, how do you kill a zombie?" And they're like, "Oh my god, there's people here that don't know how to kill zombies." And then that's when the other guy's like, "Wait a second, this is real? I'm out." Like,
yep, that's the second guy that the social media dude brought in. And he breaking it down and making it seem like it's so easy, like, and obviously that's where all the cartoonish fighting comes in because they're just mowing down zombies and walking straight to the place that they have to break open the thing,
turning the power on.
Yeah, like what you call it. The pilot has a perfectly nice helicopter, and that plays into later. And then everything goes fine. They ride off, and literally just he says they go into the sunset with all the money and stuff.
Which I thought was funny because I think that was after they said like the president wanted it to sync up with the sunset. So I was just thinking about the nuke when he said that too.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, so you guys are hitting like all these fucking marks right now. And I'm like, I'm picking this. I'm like, all right, so that's Shaun of the Dead. All right, I got you. I got what you're doing. Okay, let's keep going. So they go on, and then like you said, they have that whole thing. The guy leaves. Dieter's like, how do you fucking kill zombies? And then they go after for the daughter, where how the fuck are you gonna get in?
Yep.
So after that, the daughter just busses them in. There's no like real checkpoint.
No, not at all. They just roll in. You see all the other buses leaving, and then like 2 guards look at their bus heading in.
And then
but
that's
that's
it.
that.
And that's it. And I'm just like, so
There's
didn't,
no conflict.
So you really didn't need your stepdaughter to do
No,
this.
they could have just walked right in, honestly.
Like-
no
like
one
what-
gave a shit. And they said earlier when the whole Gita and the daughter thing happened,
Yeah.
that Gita's like, they don't care if we go in, like, you know, because they don't care about us to begin with. Like,
yeah.
so the coyote was just a way for them to kind of feel safe a little bit, I guess. But like the
need a
coyote
guide.
even hung out there. Like, no big deal. Like, you know, like
Yeah, that's true. That's true. She wasn't a refugee or anything. She was just there.
she was just there, like chilling.
That's true. And it's like, and that's what I'm like, you didn't need to bring her into this because as soon, even, let's say this was a secure facility and they hid in the fucking, they just walked out of the fucking bus and just parked their equipment everywhere. Just like,
And we're like getting ready to go in.
yeah, like you saw them strapping up and shit, which by the way, first inkling that this is ripping off of Alien straight up. The Latina girl that the social media guy brought in straight up was ripping off of Vasquez.
the bandana girl.
Yes, that was their Vasquez because
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I'm
straight
not
up
gonna argue that at all.
that was their Vasquez. And like I almost wanted because that little interaction they had with that other dude, the sitcom dude that I was saying before,
Yeah.
who his role in this anyways. And for those people that don't know, I guess I don't know his actor name, but he was in Raising Hope. He was in the Mindy Project actually in the later seasons.
Oh, we're talking about the guy that worked for Tanaka.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has an interaction with her on the bus that very much like in the vein of Aliens, where he's like, "Hey," when Hudson goes up, "Hey, does everyone ever like mistaken you for a man?" That kind of thing. But he's like hitting on her and shit, and she says all this badass stuff to him, and I'm just like, "That's fucking Vasquez."
Yeah.
Like that's their Vasquez. Like I said, it's like that little kid shooting spitballs in my face. I'm like, all right, I get it. You're ripping off of these things to try and appeal to people. Okay, let's just keep pushing. So, and they're loading up and stuff, and then Kate realizes that Gita left, and to go into the
because the kids are alone, like
Yes.
crying in the tent, and they're like the only people left in the camp too.
yes.
Are
by,
these kids?
By the way, so she takes it upon herself. All right, I'm going. Like obviously, you know this is gonna happen. I'm going with you, Dad. Like we're going into this thing together, whatever. And they have that argument, like, no, you're not, whatever. Like, but if you come with me, then you're never leaving my sight. Like this, you know what I mean? The typical fucking bullshit. The thing that kills me is that she goes in and like, so she just left the kids by themselves, huh?
That's exactly what Dana said. She said, because she says at one point when she finds out Gita's there, she's like, well, no, I have to go get her. Like, I've been helping her take care of these kids and everything. Like, I have to get her. And Dana just looks at me and she's like, wouldn't the more logical thing be that she stays since she watches the kids instead
Yes.
of both of them leaving?
Didn't the mom also say, if something happens to me, get them out of the camps?
Yep.
What the fuck? Like,
So risks everything.
the kids are a non-issue anymore at this point because after
They're not in the movie.
yeah, after this, there's no more kids.
You actually never see what happens to Gita
no,
either.
no, exactly.
Well,
yeah.
she comes back, but there's a whole nother thing that happens, and it's just like, fuck Gita.
Oh no! By the end of the movie, Gita's not a non-issue either. By the complete end of the movie, she's not. She's not
you don't know if she lived or she died. She's obviously, I'm going to go if she's dead because of what happened.
So Kate's
but,
character is almost fucking pointless at this point.
Yeah.
It really is just to perpetuate a almost. And like I said, sorry, I'm like drinking beer and like burping at the same time. But like, Zack Snyder has this tendency of jamming so much into a movie. Like I said, he had like his own little separate mini movie in the beginning, and then he throws in all these underlying little subplots,
backstories that don't need to be there, honestly.
The whole Gita story didn't need to happen.
No.
Did not need to happen. He just wanted to add some sort of extra emotional layer that didn't need to be there.
I think it was just to make you feel attached to certain characters since they fucking kill everyone in this movie.
Yeah, but it's like
so it's just like, well, there was no attachment to any of the main characters, so they got these little side stories for these other characters.
and it's done so cheaply and
Yeah.
like and the thing that kills me is then this is where I have to backpedal on the whole it was paced right because the thing is he might have paced the movie where you're able to pay attention to it, but when it comes to character development and shit, that shit goes all over the place. Where I don't know
this
where
was not lost.
like it was. I'll say it for later on, but like a lot of the character development that happens later on, the way that these characters bond in a certain way, I'm like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're supposed to have had this emotional attachment. You know what I mean? I don't know. As we're going in, so they're loading up or whatever. Then she finds out that Gita's in there. She goes with them. Then you go into Las Vegas finally with the coyote in them, and then you start seeing piles of bodies. Like,
Can we talk about gun safety real quick when they're going into Las Vegas?
Okay, you talk about that.
They're in the shipping container.
Uh-huh.
So first you make it seem like they gotta go through this crazy intricate way to get into Las Vegas by
Yes,
getting the
thank you.
coyote and all this.
Yep. Okay.
I know, I'm gonna shred this movie. I never said it was a good movie. I just said I had fun with it.
Okay.
Okay? All they had to do was open the shipping container and go in, which is actually very relevant to a TV show I recently watched, which I think is called Contagion. I don't remember what it's called. It's about an infection in Baltimore.
Okay.
It's like super flu. And they lock this whole city down with shipping containers.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually not bad. It's only one season. It's based after a German TV show that actually finished. So I got to find that. That's called Cordon. Yeah, so they're all in this shipping container getting ready to go into Las Vegas, and they're all aiming their guns. All of them. The people in the back, the people in the front, the people in the middle. They're all aiming their guns. And I'm just sitting here like, what the fuck? Like, someone's getting... I swear to you, this entire movie, I was waiting for a World War Z scene with the doctor to happen. Like, I just thought it was gonna happen with the fucking gun safety and oh my god.
Well, I mean, in their defense,
This is how I know none of them were any sort of operatives. They were just badasses chilling in Las Vegas.
yeah, I don't have any defense for this.
They were pointing guns at each other's backs, like getting ready to open fire at these hordes of zombies. They were expecting, like, no, the front people can aim their guns.
Yes.
Everyone else being like low ready or some bullshit.
Yes,
like,
yes. It's
But
preaching
anyway,
101.
getting over that
Yeah.
factor. So they go in to Las Vegas and there's no zombies. It's just dead. Their zombies are all dead on the side. They're all dried up from dehydration and shit.
Yep.
If it rains, they come back to life for a few minutes apparently, but that's it.
That's about it, yeah.
And it's like, oh, what the fuck is this? Okay, it's chilling. And then that's when they kind of start talking about the alphas.
Yeah, and it's just like, okay, so they the thing about certain zombie movies is that sometimes when they have at least a good one, it'll add to the lore, or it'll take a take on the zombie, but then you'll understand why it's like that, or they do such a good job with it where you're just like, okay, I accept this. But in this, it's like, it's almost like they really are saying, hey, fuck you to the zombie lore, we're doing our own thing, because all the zombies, the normal, regular zombies that everyone's used to, are all desiccated on the side, like you were saying before. And then they do get into the whole idea of the alpha, which is that crazy hulked out zombie that you saw in the beginning of the movie.
Yep.
Is infecting other people, but in a different way, in that, because they don't even really explain, like, why are there shamblers in the first place, or they call them shamblers, or like regular walkers, or slow zombies. Because if the alpha is infecting people by a simple bite, and they turn into alphas themselves, wouldn't every zombie be an alpha? Or
Every
is it
other alpha zombie should be able to do the same thing, you would think.
Yes, but
There's no explanation. Apparently only this first zombie ever can make people alphas.
yes, and but yeah, like I said, I don't know how that's the case, but I guess maybe if once they don't explain the lore, they're adding more to a lore that they don't want to explain, which is annoying to me. And it's like, and it's not even that the movie's so well done where I have to ignore that. Like Train to Busan, they don't really explain why they're like that.
No, but the movie's good enough
Where
where
you
I
don't
don't care
care.
about an explanation. The
Yeah.
whole movie itself is just like off the rails.
Yeah,
like,
same like
no
and
pun intended.
World
but
War Z. I wanted to know what the fuck was happening because the movie was not great. Like
Yeah.
it was like, like they
it's
took-
also how they lead certain things up. Like they put like Brad Pitt in that investigative type way where he's like counting down the doll. He's doing this, so it's like, well, if he's gonna figure shit out, like he was going around trying to
Explain to
figure out
me.
why it happened, but it just never got there.
No, because that movie
And
was
this movie just didn't even fucking give a shit
No, it
to
threw-
explain
exactly.
anything.
It threw it out there, and it's up to you to fill in the blanks.
Yep.
Because I assume that he's like, I've taken so much from all these other properties that you guys can probably just assume what I'm going with at this point. So they introduced the alphas where he's like, okay, look, we have to make an offering or something, or the lady says that. And they also take that crazy rapist fucking cop.
Which is fucking hilarious. Which is cool because like I knew the second she asked, we need one more person.
Yep.
We need one more person. It was like, oh, they need bait.
Exactly.
They're looking for a bait guy.
Exactly.
And she's like, oh, I got the perfect guy. And you're like, oh, the rapist. Boom. He's dead.
So they go into the place after they see all the desiccated zombies. She explains that they all dried out or whatever because of the sun. And then when rain hits them, they come back to life a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you see one of the fucking weirdest things to introduce like this whole new zombie landscape. They introduce a Bengal tiger zombie.
Kind of scary.
That belonged to Siegfried and Roy. And the thing
I thought that was funny that it had to be theirs.
It had to be there. It's Vegas. It had to be theirs. But the thing that was like, I'm looking at this. I'm like, this is like, you ever seen Zombies?
No.
So imagine Zombies, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's zombie animals.
I know what it is. I just didn't.
It's like they basically took the CGI from that and just did one or two more passes on it.
Oh God.
That's how I saw it, anyways. And so when you see the tiger come in, you're just like, okay, so there's a zombie tiger. There's no explanation about why.
I don't know why they didn't just kill it either.
Well, I mean, they didn't know. I don't know. Like, they're probably just in awe of it, I guess. I don't know. But they just didn't kill it. They're just like, this is the guardian of the entranceway. I'm like, what the fuck? Where is this weird-ass mythology coming in? And this is another thing I'm going to start saying that they take from. They turn this into some weird, like, Game of Thrones White Walker bullshit. Like, I don't understand. Like, oh, they have their own culture now and stuff. So, like, we need an offering. I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? And this is where it just goes off the rails with the zombie bullshit, because now he's just like, I'm introducing stuff, but I'm just going to introduce stuff that just sounds fucking cool because I know you guys like it. And it's like, so they're like, okay, so she shoots the dude in the leg and then goes, okay, we're just going to, and I think this is one funny thing. She shoots him in the leg and she's explaining to them why she did it. And as she's explaining, you hear the guy, fucking shoot her in the face.
Yeah, he's like,
help me. Kill her. Like literally in the background.
And then she's like, nah, he's a rapist pig. All the girls are kind of just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
They just all shrugged. They're like, oh, cool, whatever.
Even Batista's just like, I don't know if I should leave it. No, he spoke some shit to my daughter. I'm going to fucking walk away. Because they leave him there, and then out of nowhere, this fucking zombie crazy lady comes out screeching and shit, making all sorts of vulture noises.
30 Days a Night screeches.
Yes, it was a lot like that. And the thing that kills me is like they turned these zombies into like this weird, like I said, it had a walking, not a Game of Thrones like feel to it, like they're White Walkers. But not only that, I got more of like vampires or lichens from underworld kind of vibe from them too after a while. And I'm just like, this isn't zombies anymore. Like, what the fuck? And it's just like, so she comes in, she starts screeching up a storm. By the way, the scene takes forever, where she's just screeching. She has her
like
servants
smelling him.
And then she just drags them away, and it's supposed to mean that they accept the offering. And she's like, okay, this means they'll let us pass, but we're going to, like, go into buildings and shit. We're not going to stay on the streets. And she doesn't do a good job explaining, like, why is there a zombie culture? How did you find out about all of this zombie culture? Like, why is this like, you know what I mean? It's like
how did they let you live all of those times?
Exactly.
And like, how did they let you figure out this is what they want?
Yeah, right. So like, how much trial and error was in this? And it's just like, and I guess it's to your point before, she was trying to atone. But she said she left people behind.
Oh, she's left people behind, and she even says to one guy, she's like, "No, like I'm literally trying to make up for what I've done."
Which also, by the way, what is her incentive in all of this? Usually, coyotes get paid up front and shit.
She wasn't getting paid for this. She just decided to help them,
which is insane.
Which is crazy too, because she says she's doing it for her conscience, but they're going in there to get some rich dude's money. Like, they're not even going in there for a good reason anymore.
No, it's like, it's ridiculous. And she's like, oh, I'm doing this. Well, I guess to go back and maybe get Gita. I don't know.
No, like, because they think Gita's dead.
Yeah, no, her motivation is out of whack. Like, why the fuck is she even, like, if I were her, I would just be like, hey, look, this is as far as I'm taking you. I'm fucking leaving.
And I'm out, yeah. Nope, she just decides
she sticks
to
with
stay.
Them the whole way. And it's
she's a part of the group now. And
it's fuck. Anyway, so they accept the offer, and then after this, it kind of slows down a little bit because they're just going, and I think they finally reach it to They go to the eventual casino they're supposed to break into, right? I'm trying to think if there's any in between at this point.
Well, because there's a lot of walking through the shambles.
It's a lot
in the dark. That like 28 weeks later, like type scene.
Yes, another thing that they ripped off of something else, and it's just like they go through that
pitch black.
Yeah, anything like any of those movies where you're just like, oh, Silent Hill. If you think about it, with the nurses in the basement. it's that whole cliche thing where it's like, all right, look, I'll Batista goes, you know, I'm a tough motherfucker. I'll go first and I'll light up a path for you or whatever. The guy that's
supervising the mission.
yes,
I guess,
Tanaka's
from
right
Tanaka.
hand guy that goes with them because he says he knows extensive knowledge of the casino, whatever the fuck, goes there, and obviously that is the guy that's going to turn on everyone. You know from the beginning that is the guy.
He's there to make sure no one actually makes it out with that money.
Yes, exactly. And then the whole thing is like, by the way, and I feel like this is really stupid on this chick's part. She goes like, "Oh, I don't want you fucking behind me. You're gonna fucking like leave us behind." And then it turns out that fucked her in the end because as Batista's going through, he's lighting up little light sticks on the floor so people can follow him out the safe path. And the guy, she goes, "No, you fucking go ahead of me. I'm gonna watch you." And clearly, she didn't watch him close enough because the dude threw the light stick. The guy goes, "Yeah, fuck this bitch." Throws the light stick in a different direction.
Yep.
She follows it, and then she gets caught up in a bunch of zombies and tries to.
I thought that was a cool. I thought the scene was cool. I just thought she was a fucking idiot.
She was an idiot.
I also hated how her friend reacted and everyone else reacted towards the end of the scene.
Yes, exactly. So, long story short, she knocks into a zombie. She wakens the horde.
She fucks them up.
And this is
using
why
a knife, keeping quiet. Then they're awakened, and she just says "fuck it" and starts mowing them down. And then she gets to the door. She gets there without being bit. But the fucking piece of shit guy that I don't know his name, but the guy that worked for Tanaka locked her in.
And once again, this is her Vasquez moment because at the end of Aliens, she almost had the same kind of thing where she's fucking things up. She's staying behind after everyone, literally killing everything with whatever she has to the point where I'm just like, and clearly she's not going to live, even though they kind of try to make you think that she might.
When she breaks through the window instead of getting through, because you think she's done because they're like, wait, where did she go? Where's my friend? And he's like, oh, she was right behind me, man. And he's like, no, like, where did she go? And as they're like arguing, she like bursts through the window, and you're like, oh shit, she fucking made it out. Dude, they're like 15 feet away from her, and they're like watching her fight like 50 zombies instead of like shooting, helping, anything.
It was like that argument you had with the ring where they're watching the video, the kids watching the video, and no one's doing it. Like, they're not doing it. Like, you could have.
But this is worse.
No, because you have weapons. You could just fire around to loosen up the horde a little bit.
He even killed one of them. He shot one of them. Like, the friend shot one of the zombies that was holding her in the head and then just decided, like, I can't risk it anymore.
Yeah, like
I'm not going to shoot anymore.
And then she gets taken, and then same way Vasquez styles blows herself up. Well, not really blows herself up. They do the whole eye contact thing where the guy's like, hey,
it shoots her in the fuel pack.
Yeah, she's like, and he shoots the fuel pack, and then she blows up. Which, by the way, I don't know how far away they were, but like she blows up. All those people in that hallway should have been at least blown back. The guy
didn't even move.
He didn't even move. He just looks down, all sad and shit. And they're like, oh, that whole thing in the background in slow motion. Come on, we have to go. And he's just like. I'm like, you fucking kidding me, man?
Also, her last words were just go, not, yo, that guy just tried to kill me. Don't trust him.
Right? Like, come on. Like,
definitely a lot of stupid dialogue, a lot of stupid scenes that went down in this movie. But I don't care. It was still a fun watch. But that scene definitely annoyed me that no one helped her because, like, you all have guns. Yeah. Like, damn.
At this point, they go. I think they finally make it to the area, the casino or whatever.
Yes.
Because that whole area where they were trying to walk through the zombies in the dark was a pretty long scene.
It was like 15 minutes.
Yeah, it took about actually a good amount of time. They finally make it to the casino, and then they all break up into individual jobs. The thing that I don't understand is like, why did the coyote and the guy that worked for Tanaka go off by themselves? And do whatever they did.
Yeah, why did no one? People that you probably should have had around to watch went outside,
and they just left while everybody else did their shit. Like they didn't question what their job was, what they're supposed to be doing. No, they just fucking left to do whatever they're gonna do. And what they decide to do is fucking dumb as fuck.
Yeah, they just sit outside.
Yeah, and now you're thinking, oh man, I guess they're doing a perimeter, but no, they're on their own agenda or whatever. So everybody else is trying to do their job. Dieter's trying to break the safe. What would you call it? They do this whole stupid goofy thing where they're trying to get to the safe and they're trying to hit all the pressure sensors and stuff.
Oh yeah, the pressure points. So they use these zombies,
which
and like
makes
a microwaved hand.
Makes no fucking sense because number one, they put a zombie like, all right, walk over there. Why is the zombie listening? Why didn't the zombie immediately just turn around and just start biting them? No, it goes forward a couple feet, then turns around, and they're like, okay, we can't use this guy. So they do the hand thing.
Just because you microwaved it, it's still dead.
It's still dead. But he's saying it. Well, this is one little tidbit. It's like,
It's the heat.
The heat signature.
Yeah.
That's what they follow, not the fact that it's flesh.
I mean, I guess we'll have to believe him because he was in the first fight.
Yes.
Against
so he
the
would
zombies.
know.
We just have no idea of that. Apparently, zombies follow heat signatures.
And that
in this
little
movie.
thing is the only little bit of zombie extra lore that they would probably throw in that actually be relevant to anything else.
And you kind of got to find it yourself.
Yes, and it's the smallest little detail, and it's really fucking annoying that that's like the only thing they added, because they added this whole other fucking Game of Thrones bullshit to the zombie stuff, and they don't explain any of it. Anyway, so then they do that whole comedic thing of like, all right, finally they get the zombie across or whatever, and this is where it becomes like very Sci-Fi Channel-ish, where it's just like the zombie gets crushed and you see all the guts getting pulled out and the worst fucking CG.
Well, I loved it because they were told it was all non-lethal traps.
Oh, yeah.
And the first traps were like, I guess, tranquilizers, and they all hit the zombie and he keeps going. And they're like, oh, okay. Next trap is just like fully automatic machine guns. And they're like, non-lethal? What? And they're like, all right, well, that should be the last one, right? And then he keeps going, he hits the last one, and the walls just crush him. And they're like, that should be the last one.
Yeah, and it was like, and there's the thing about that. It's funny, but at the same time, it's like, Zack Snyder did not know how to make any, like, the tone in this movie just went off so much. Because it's like sometimes it'll be this super serious action movie. Sometimes, like, especially when Batista's on screen. And then sometimes it'll be a funny kind of, like, Guardians of the Galaxy style humor or whatever the fuck. Or it'll be like Suicide Squad-ish. And it's like most of the jokes, honestly, didn't land because everything else around it was trying to be so serious. Like, I started getting a lot of... it's like he tried doing a Transformers version of a zombie movie where it's just like, it's lighthearted and stuff. Because, like I said, the whole idea, like, with the nuke getting sent off, how is no one freaking out that we're about to launch a nuke into the United States?
In our own country.
Right? That's not a test. It's literally meant to destroy, like, a small... an infect... You know what I mean? It's a big deal. And it's like, no, it's just this whole comedic thing. There's no... The tones just shift so much where I'm just like, a lot of the jokes like that, I'm just like, this seems unnecessary.
Also, I forget his name because he has the long name. It's like Koa Haven or something. The physical therapist, the guy with the...
Oh, I think they called him, they could just call him Vans.
Vans? That's what they call him?
They called him Vans. It was like Vanderhoven or something.
When the hell did him and, like, Dieter become best friends?
Thank you.
That was out of... They just decided, like, probably another, like, 20 minutes, half hour in, they're, like, looting the safe that they finally break into, and they're like, zombies are safe, and they're like, safe.
Yeah. And so here's the thing. So, like, by the third act, because I think at this point we've gotten through most of the second, by the third act, it's like, oh, by the way, there's this character development that we thought we were creating through the movie is going to kick in now.
Yeah.
Where it's like Dieter and Vans became friends.
Like, really close friends. And it was, like, weird because I almost felt like they knew each other before the job, but they didn't. Like,
yeah. They don't explain. And then not only that, it's like everyone, like, so the first, the woman that Batista first approached about the job, I've already forgot her name, but she was actually in Nacho Libre. I saw her in, and she's in a bunch of other, like, Spanish movies and stuff. She was basically her right hand, like the Batista's right hand girl. You know what I mean? Through this whole operation, she was part of the family, the original family. Obviously, this whole time there's like some kind of tension between them, and you could kind of see it a little bit. But then by the end, she just like out of nowhere, she's like, "Oh, this is too much for me. You know, I've always had feelings for you. I thought we could bring back all this." I'm like, "Whoa, where the fuck did this come from?"
They didn't show like sides for maybe if you pay attention, like her mood when she's working on the car before the whole heist thing.
Yeah.
And then you see Batista and like her excitement level is like through the roof, but that's like literally the only point you get that there could have been something.
Anything. And it's just like, and then I don't know, she's like, "Oh, no, I thought we could bring it back." And then after this whole interaction she has with Batista, like, I thought we could bring it back. Like, after this, I'm trying to make it right there. I'm like, she's going to die. She's going to die. One of them is going to die. They're going to die. And then, like, literally, like, 15 seconds, because at this point, I
Open the elevator.
Yes, but at this point, too, because we skipped over something. So the Coyote and the guy that worked for Tanaka are outside, right? And the whole reason they did that, also, they don't...
just the guy, not the Coyote.
No, it was the Coyote and...
No, because she was like, what the fuck are you doing?
No. But the thing is, she thought something else, but she took him out there. But the thing is, this is what I don't understand either. So... They were talking to each other, and she was like, this wasn't part of the deal, because he was supposed to take a vial of blood from the queen zombie chick from the beginning, the ones that screeching for, to make
Army.
an army of.
Yeah.
This is where it fucking kills me. It's like, we're gonna take this zombie sample so that we can make this fucking weapon where we can control zombies. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I mean, I will say that
this is what you're doing with this.
That was probably the main point of the movie, though. I'll give it that, because it did start with the zombies. So they were probably just saying, like, all right, we can start all over again. Just get the blood.
I get that, but at the same time, it's like,
because he wasn't actually there to watch them.
No,
he was there to get the quote-unquote blood sample.
I know, but it's like, I thought, like, it would have been something a lot simpler. You know what I mean? I feel like they went too much. Like, it would have been like, hey, look, I'm going to screw over everyone and take all the money, and we'll all go.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to hold up the pilot, and we're all just going to, I'm going to take the money, and I'm just going to go. I thought it would be something simple like that. No, it's like, I'm going to take this so I can sell this to the government so they can make weapons of mass destruction that have to do with zombies. And it's like, what? Just take the money. And he's like, oh, well, this sample I'm taking is worth 10 times more. I'm just like, yeah, but it clearly didn't work out.
And this sample,
God,
this scene was 100% stolen from Jurassic Park 3.
So fucking bad. And it's, oh my God. The thing that, so they go out there and they lure the zombie queen out, right? And how did they lure her out there?
They didn't. She just showed up.
She just showed up, right?
And because the tiger, no, they didn't see the tiger
no,
yet. She just showed up. And then it was like, all right, well, I'm going to kill you guys now. And that's when he shot her with the ties.
Yep.
And then they blew the other dude's head off.
Yep. And then he cut the head off the girl, off of the zombie queen. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't part of this is what we're supposed to do. She later says, well, now the deal that we made is fucking off now. And I'm just like, oh. Okay, so you were there. You could have stopped him, by the way.
Yeah.
You could have been like, what? Because it's a zombie. If you just cut a little bit off, it's gonna still be fine. You know, it's like no, you didn't stop him. It just you had to perpetuate the plot more, and like you said, straight up fucking Jurassic Park.
And
3.
then they leave the bodies. That's just like some gang shit, like war gang shit. Like
exactly.
After she said, like, yo, you just cut that dude's queen's head off. Like we're at war with them now. You should have hid the bodies.
Right.
Like, you should have hid them.
And I don't even blame, like, the idea that these people have no common sense. I think just the fucking script is bad, where they're just like, we have to keep the plot going with all this other bullshit. And so they finally turn to the heist or whatever. After this whole thing happens, after Batista has this whole interaction with that chick. Oh, even before that, Kate decides to fucking leave the group to find Gita.
So, well,
that was before
that's
the
how
zombies
the
came
friend
down.
that's how the friend gets killed, is they decide to go look for Kate.
Oh, no, I just thought they were leaving in general.
No. So they finally get the safe open, and pretty much what happens is, like, Batista and the girl are having their moment, and then they realize Kate's gone because she snuck out after they opened the safe to try and find Gita at the Olympus Hotel or whatever, because that's apparently where they bring these people to turn them.
Yeah.
So she snuck out to go by herself. Batista and the girl figure this out, so they're like, all right, let's go get them. And they'll get the money, and we'll get her. And by the time we're back, we'll leave in the helicopter since it's ready. And that's when they open the elevator door, and all the zombies are in the elevator, which is such a Resident Evil scene.
Yep.
And they just they don't even eat her. They just snap her
Which, by
fucking
the way,
neck.
it's like, I feel like, I mean, I know it wasn't timed the same way, and there's no way you could have ripped this off. So there's a scene in the show Invincible where someone gets their neck broken like that. But the impact is so much more because the way they did it in this was the CGI was so bad, it just looked comedic.
I'll give it to them that they gave the little bone snap out the side.
Yeah.
Because, I feel like if you broke
someone's
someone's neck 180 degrees.
I laughed. I laughed my
ass
off.
Very expected.
Because it was just like, I knew she was going to die, but I didn't think they were going to do some bullshit like that. Because, like, she turned around, she's still smiling, and then the bone snaps, and I'm just like, I don't know how you, I don't feel like this isn't a gut punch.
A shit.
Yeah, it wasn't a gut. And then Batista, once again, trying to get that Oscar, just going fucking crazy and pulling out all these Drax moves, trying to take out all these zombies, which is pretty awesome. At this point, this is where everything goes fucking sideways for everyone, where it's just like, that's it. Like,
because the guy ends up leaving them. He locks them in.
Yeah, the guy that works for Tanaka.
They're trying to escape through, like, a roof hatch, and he locks them in. But it's funny because at this point, like, this is where Dieter and Vans
Yeah, man.
decide not to leave, and they're like, no, let's keep looting money, even though these zombies are literally smashing in the elevator roof trying
Straight
to get
up,
to them.
by the way, straight up alien style, just coming through the fucking ceiling. And they're just coming at them, and they're trying to shoot them off and stuff like that. And clearly they're running out of ammo or whatever.
And the king comes with his bulletproof fucking headgear.
With his fucking Captain America mask? Yeah.
Oh, we skipped the whole zombie pregnancy part too.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so this is where it gets... Yeah,
no sense either.
Yeah, I know. So this is... Because, like I said, Zack Snyder just throwing in a bunch of crazy shit. So there's this whole thing with these new alpha zombies where they have this whole, like, weird caste system or, like, society they have going on, which, once again, reminds me a lot of fucking vampires or lichens from Underworld. Because when you see them coming in... Because it's when they take the security guard. They don't kill him immediately. The rapist security guard. They take him to the place to show them how he gets
No, they're
turned.
like fucking with him, and they pretty much wait for the head alpha to show up before anything happens.
Yeah, and then like the whole time, like the zombies on the side are like hissing and pulsating in the crowd, like
fucking ceremony.
Like they're fucking vampires.
Yeah.
And then it's like. I'm like, all right, so what the fuck else are you going to take? Okay, I'm getting a lot of the strain from this, from Underworld. I'm getting, like, what other demographics are you trying to fucking hit here? And then they bring in the whole Game of Thrones weird shit where they're like, this, like, almost without saying it, like, this is my queen, like, you're my queen, like,
he,
and we have
listens to her stomach,
because,
so you're like, oh, this bitch is pregnant, because why
zombies.
else would he be listening to her stomach? Like,
and also, let's just throw in another fucking, subplot in while we're at it, you know?
Also, there's zombies, so like their emotion is just screeching and angry. So it's like, I guess they were excited at one point, but I really thought he was gonna kill her for taking this guy in at one point, because like everything they did was just angry. But nah, it was like, oh no, good job for bringing this guy over here.
Which is like,
but I thought he was gonna kill the queen for a second, because I didn't know it was the queen for a second until he was like, oh, like you're my girl. You're pregnant and all that, whatever. But
no, the thing is, it's like you can't do with zombies what you do with lichens and vampires. It just doesn't play the same.
They're supposed to be brainless.
That's the problem.
They're supposed to be.
You start adding smarts to it, like they did with fucking like we said before with like Day of the Dead, that remake, the bad one.
Yeah, with Nick Cannon.
Yes, that one. And
Land of the Dead, man.
Was that Dawn? That was Day of the Dead, right? The remake, not Dawn.
Day of the Dead was Day of the Dead. They remade with Nick Cannon.
Okay, that's the one.
And it was more like the Dawn of the Dead zombies. It almost could have been a sequel to the Dawn of the Dead remake.
Well, here's the thing, because this is what
Ving Rhames was in both of them.
This is what disappointed me about this movie a lot too. That was Zack Snyder too. I'm pretty sure that was him. I mean,
I didn't even know who Zack Snyder was back then.
I'm pretty sure that was him, and just look it up quick, and just before I like really hammer in on this point.
It might make sense with how the movies were filmed and the zombies acted.
Because like if you look at that film though, the filming is a lot crisper, it's a lot cleaner, and not only that, the story's more concise. Like it's the Dawn of the Dead remake, and it's not a bad remake. And he just threw in the zombie stuff. He threw in a little bit of his Zack Snyderisms. But the problem is...
What's Zack Snyder? Director?
Director.
No. It was Steve Miner.
So then, did he produce it or something? Or did he have any part of this?
I'm not seeing anything.
Really? The Dawn of the Dead remake?
Oh, Dawn...
Not Day of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead.
The good one?
Yeah, the good one.
My bad.
You were looking up Day of the Dead?
Maybe.
Okay, good, because I was like feeling really stupid for a second. Watch this.
You are correct.
Directed?
The Dawn of the Dead remake that came out in 2004 was made by Zack Snyder.
And
no idea.
That's the thing. That movie was awesome.
It was.
And
that's what made me obsessed with zombies.
It was awesome. And yet he could not do another one like that good. And you know what I think the problem is?
Because he took it from George Romero.
Well, and also the other thing is too, he definitely had a lower budget for that one too.
Okay.
He had
the budget made him just bring it.
Just go crazy. He went crazy.
He
just went crazy with it. And the thing is, it's just like, look, once again, the only little bit of zombie lore that I thought was a good addition was that whole heat signature thing. And that was just a little tiny
Yeah,
thing.
they could have expanded on that.
But then, like, you get into the whole thing with the zombies and like the weird fucking vampire ritual they had, where he bit the dude and then he threw the dude in the pit, but
I thought they were gonna eat him.
Exactly.
And they didn't.
And they bring him back later, which, by the way, I don't remember that part, so you might have to refresh me on that. But like, when he comes back,
he just like literally, it was the most insignificant, whatever. He just came back, killed one of the girls Gita went in with, and they shot him in the fucking head.
That was it?
Yeah,
Okay,
that was
I thought
it.
that was more
It
of
wasn't
it.
anything special.
Yeah, and I thought they were going to eat him alive or something, but then, and once again, they go through this whole thing. So once the wife dies, they bring the body, the queen dies. They bring the body back to the Olympus, the place that all the alpha
And
zombies
you
are
see
at.
she was pregnant.
And he pulls out the fetus in this whole weird Lion King style.
Okay, so I've wanted to say this since the start, but I'm going to wait till now. So he brings out this baby, Lion King style, 100%. Like, they do a pan out, and he's holding the baby up in the air, and all the other zombies around him, like the fucking nature of life and all that bullshit. Or circle of life. Anyway, did you realize the zombies had blue tints to them after the zombie baby was shown?
Yes. No, even
After they were popping.
Even before
You
that.
saw it before?
Well, no, here's
Maybe
the thing.
I didn't
No, it was right.
realize.
No, it was right during that scene. There was a point where either it was that scene or when they actually brought the security guard in the first time. One of the zombies on the side, out of nowhere, you see has blue, bright eyes.
Okay. I didn't see
and
that.
I saw that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Why the fuck is that zombie have these blue? And then you start noticing that the blue tint on the fetus. And then with some of
when he's headshotting zombies,
they have
when they're doing a crazy showdown in the casino.
Yeah.
Like the last survivors are there. They're shooting it out like crazy machine gun fire, fully automatic, everything going down. You see these blue tints, and I was almost like, are they like robots at this point?
Yes.
Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And like everything else was straight blood and gore up until you see this fucking fetus.
And it's like, not only, but to your point, even during that scene, there was a point where they shoot off one of the zombies' faces, and it looks like almost like a Terminator head, like a Terminator side, and you see the glowing blue eye. Is there gonna be a weird twist that these are robots or something? And like,
I thought that they were turning. I don't know what I thought, honestly, but I thought
Zack
it was
Snyder
robots.
knew what was happening in his own fucking film, because at this point we're in the third act now.
I guess they got to be aliens. Talked about Area 51 and then blue shit. It has to be aliens.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Where it's just like, okay, this is some kind of alien technology or something, some kind of Plan 9 from outer space that got quarantined and then they just let loose again.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it's just like at this point, it just third act just goes fucking nuts, and then it finally does the thing that every zombie movie does, where everything goes sideways, everyone's fucking dying. Like at this point, as soon as Batista's girlfriend dies, everyone just starts going out. Like
the social media creator Dietz dies.
He dies and
he blows himself up. Badass way.
Yeah, he goes out like a G.
Predators.
Yep, Predators.
Russian guy.
Yep, exactly. And then not only that, and once again, it's very much Alien-esque because things are just coming at them left and right. They're shooting. They're trying to get the fuck out. I almost want to say there's a part where they go into the vents, but I could be completely off on that.
It's not vents. They're going through the ducts with the ladders.
Okay.
And they use the saw to cut through the wall to get out because the guy locked him in. So Tanaka's right-hand man locked him in. He thinks he's smart. He's trying to leave with the zombie head. He goes outside. He's like, notices the bag feels a little weird. And you see the scene earlier. The coyote, I guess, starts to realize that this guy's more sketch than she thinks. Takes the zombie head and puts the money counter in the bag instead. So this guy goes outside, ready to leave, ditch everybody. He's going to kill the pilot, and he's going to leave with the plane, which is weird because he goes outside first before going to the roof,
right?
Which made no sense to me because everyone else went to the roof, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
like
straight to the roof.
Straight to the roof. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he goes outside, and honestly, I thought it was a badass mauling scene. The tiger gets this motherfucker and, like, just ragdolls him, and like the decomposition of his face.
Okay, so the scene itself was cool, and I do like how they showed how his face got fucked up and really how the thing bites his face off.
And he kept trying to fight. He pulled some little pussy kick at the end.
So here's the thing. It's like Zack Snyder said, you know what movie I like? The Revenant. I'm just going to take that bear scene and just put it right in my movie.
Yeah.
Because that's legit what I thought. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you're just taking from everything now. everything. Like, bro, there's not an original thought in this fucking movie, and that's
No.
what pisses me off the most about it. Because if you're gonna make a zombie movie, progress the lore, progress it, make it entertaining enough where I'm just like, okay, I could put that into the zombie.
It was also
lore
very
repertoire.
like the Resident Evil remake when the guy steals the vials and he tries to leave and the liquor kills him
the
at the
liquor
very
kills him.
end.
Yeah. But what it takes from everything. Not original fucking thought in this movie, and that's what really pisses me off about it. He could have just made a nice compact, because it didn't have to be this long. It really didn't.
Not at all.
Like,
this movie could have been an hour. Straight up, didn't even have to be an hour and a half.
No.
It could have been a 60-minute quick fucking TV type movie, and it would have been fun. It would have been the same type of hit.
Yes, exactly. And not only that, like, you cut out all those subplots, all the
More
bullshit.
people would have liked it.
Yes, all the subplots, all that shit. You just made them quick zombies. You didn't have to go into the whole alpha thing. Just made them quick zombies, crazy, steroided out zombies. Fine. Because to a certain extent, Day of the Dead, the remake, I enjoyed the crazy like chaos scenes.
Okay, yeah, when they finally
Like in the
went to
hospital?
shit. Yeah,
I liked those scenes. That was fun.
yeah.
I mean, everything else attached to it, the whole where they tried making it kind of like Day of the Dead was really bullshit. But then the action scenes were cool. The action scenes in this movie,
Were very cool.
were very
well
cool.
done. Fun.
Like I said, like they were pretty good choreographed. I think the editing was a little fucked up because like they only had one good scene where Batista was just like going crazy right after the girl died. Anyways, like I said, he's just taking random shit. So that guy gets mauled, and once again, they can't figure out the tones because I remember they were talking with the pilot up top where they had. By the way, this is where I pretty much figured like I thought this was just a completely like bullshit like assignment or something. I really thought maybe it was gonna be some deeper shit because I remember earlier in the safe, the Vans, he goes into this whole weird kind of like, hey, what if we're just kind of trapped in this endless cycle and we're just bringing back all this stuff?
Oh, and they do because they see
they see all the corpses, and not
so
only
they go
that, the
into,
corpses.
like some LSD stoner moment because they see these corpses and they're like, well, what if we're in a never-ending loop and like we're just stuck here forever and we're just reliving the realities? And as they're saying it, they're looking at the skeleton corpses and they're comparing the clothing that they're wearing to the people that are wearing their things. But like they looked at one, the pilot's wearing the same thing as one of the people, but you're like, well, the pilot's upstairs. And like as the guy's saying all this though, it's kind of funny. He's literally setting up explosive charges on the gate, like, oh, we're stuck here, we can't get through, they fucked up the lock, blah blah blah, and then he just blows it and they get in. And it's like no big deal.
Which,
but
by the way,
it was kind of funny. It was like a little like stoner moment.
It's like almost like Zack Snyder was going, oh, maybe if I like this is. It's almost like he said, I had an idea where this was gonna play out some weird meta shit, but that'd be too much. So I'm just gonna let this guy say it and make it a joke.
Yeah.
And it's just like Zack Snyder has this thing where he just wants
that's
to have
where, you know what? That's where they make the bond happen with Dieter and him. Because Dieter comes up with some crazy shit when he finally, like, opens the safe, I think. And the guy looks at him and he's like, I like that. Like, that's deep or something. And
he says that crazy shit like...
I feel like when they
it'll
both...
be either rebirth or death, that kind of thing.
And I think when they both say their crazy shit, they're like, I like that guy.
Which, honestly, in another movie, that kind of bond and that kind of, like, that would have been fun. That's cool. But it's like, it came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So by the end of the third act...
forced.
Yeah, by the end of the third act, everyone's fucking dying and shit. Everyone gets murked, and it's just...
Dieter dies.
Yeah, Dieter dies. Well, yeah, Dieter gets taken.
He locks Vans in the safe to save him, because, like... All right, this scene was kind of cool, but it was the cheesiest shit I've ever seen.
Uh-huh.
The king zombie, like, comes down, because they're, like... debating if they should keep raiding the money or if they should try and leave a Batista, and they're like, nah, let's get the money, fuck this shit. Dumb decision. I knew they were both gonna die from the gate after that part. Then they get their money, they're about to leave, and instead of running out, all of these zombies start coming down, and they start doing their little gunfight. They shoot all the zombies down. You see Dieter finally landing his shots with his pistol and everything. You're like, oh, he's finally a zombie killer. And then the king comes down, and he, like, locks eyes with Vans. And Vans is kind of like, yo, I got this. Which, Predators.
Yep.
The Japanese guy. And, like, Dieter just kind of, like, looks at him. Vans takes his gun off, all that shit. And the zombie fucking takes his bulletproof head shit off.
Fucking Captain America helmet.
And I'm like, oh, my God. He's going to fight a zombie, like, fist fight shit. And they go at it, and...
he gets owned.
I enjoy that...
immediately.
He didn't even put up a...
A
he
good
landed
fight.
a solid elbow. One elbow. and like everything else in the fight, like he got destroyed. Like
I was laughing the whole,
with the
I'm
ways
like,
he was getting hit, like even if you're not dead on impact, you're so concussed, you're not escaping. You're not anything. And he like tries to get up and do this whole like, all right, like Dieter, like get out of here, like I got it. And it's like after you just got literally punched across the room by a decaying corpse, which shouldn't happen because they're superhuman strength. God, I still love this movie, but fuck, it ruins zombies. Damn it. Anyway, he's like, and Dieter's like out of nowhere is just like, no, I gotta save this guy. He's my homie. And he like fucking locks Vans in the safe. Yeah. Which, by the way, like he locked him in a safe.
Yeah, like they didn't explain.
And he even said, if this locks one more time, it's locked forever. Like 30 minutes before this.
Exactly, because like I'm watching, it's like you might have just condemned him to
and
even
Dana
worse
caught
death.
this. Dana caught this as it happened. She's like,
yes.
Wait.
Yes,
and
yes.
I looked at her and I tried to defend it. I was like, well, maybe you can just lock it, unlock it. Win. And I was like, fuck, she's right. Like, he's
Dana
trapped.
got it. No, Dana got it. Because as soon as I saw him closing, I'm like, no, you said this. If you close this again. And I'm like, you literally just condemned him to
but
like
at the
even
same
worse
time,
death.
I knew that he was going to be like an end credit scene the second they locked him in there.
Oh, did you? I didn't know that was going to happen.
Because I was like, they're going to pull some end credit shit with him because, you know, they're going to pull, like, he's going to come out of the fallout after literally everyone has died. He's going to come out of the fallout with the money and just, like, walk back into civilization. And that's that. And I was like, they're going to pull that shit.
Seriously, I didn't think that.
I
thought they would have just going to left that as a loose end, just like they did with Gita.
Because they fucking want this shit to have a sequel.
Oh, yeah.
How it's going to happen, I don't know.
It's going to have a sequel. It's going to have a sequel.
We'll get to it in
we'll get
shortly,
to it. Yeah, no, very short. We're almost done.
Yeah.
And fucking, so at this point, everyone's dead, right?
Everyone's dead. The guy blows himself up. It's the social media guy with the grenades.
Yep,
he's getting chewed on.
So now it's just down to Batista and the coyote
pilot.
chick. No, the coyote chick at this point.
So
they're going. So they go up to the roof, and the pilot chick is like, "All right, we're going. We're like, we're about up. The thing's still stalling." And then but no, just give me 30 seconds. And then at this point, more zombies come in through the door.
No, just the king.
Oh, just the king. But still, very much in the vein of World War Z.
Like, oh my God!
This
it's the scene with the dad.
Straight up World War Z. Once again, not an original thought in this fucking movie.
And the fact that it's the dad and the king, two major characters. Even if you don't want to say the dad was a major character, he was.
And the thing is, it's like the thing comes in and the chick pulls out the head as like a failsafe.
An offering.
Yeah, just basically just
still
holding
alive,
it ransom.
I guess.
Yeah, holding it ransom, which I don't get. I'm just like,
because it was the baby. I feel like he cared more about the baby the entire time.
Which is weird. I'm just like, you do know that if you get this head back, you're not going to be able to make a baby with just this head. You know that, right?
Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I mean? And I thought actually, so later on you realize that he does take people into the Olympus to turn them into alphas, but he has them in a room and takes them one at a time.
Hostage.
Which honestly, I don't think this is a direct rip, but they remind me a lot of, what was it? Horde, where the zombies took people into pantries almost.
The French movie?
Yeah. Remember?
Where it's the gang and the cop?
We're in
the apartment?
Yeah.
So I'm going to laugh right now.
Okay.
Because you know what's funny? I was going to reference Horde when Batista jumped on the casino table and was lighting all the zombies up.
Yeah.
And the cop at the end of Horde was on top of the car lighting all the zombies up.
You could even argue that
I didn't even think that I was going to compare those two movies together. Yeah, no, I could see a little Horde in this.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
He takes from every fucking property. And it's like, at this point, like, they go up, and so she's holding the head hostage as she's distracting the king zombie. And then Batista goes off into the air with the pilot.
Yeah, she's telling them to leave. She's got a gun to the fucking queen
which,
head.
Once again, this is character development that I didn't get until the very end. She's redeeming herself for leaving all the people behind. I get it. But it's like, all right, you just slammed me with this at the very end. There was no development. She gets murked because the guy has like a spear, throws the spear at her.
Hails her through the... Not even a kill shot. I think it was through the shoulder.
No, it's through the shoulder, but he like...
She was pinned. She was fucked.
She's done.
But
And she
throws
throws the head. She drops the head over the side. The head breaks apart. And it's just like, okay, so now your empire's done. And then the guy, I guess, kills her. Doesn't say what happened.
Were you confused on how he got ahead of the helicopter, too?
So
the helicopter left while he's killing this girl.
And still jumped on.
And the next scene... You see the helicopter flying to go because they're going to get Batista's
Oh
daughter.
no, I see what you're saying. Okay, no,
Okay,
I see what
you
you're
see
saying.
what I meant,
I
right?
see what you're saying.
So the next scene, they're going to get Batista's daughter. This motherfucker's leading his army that, number one, got vaporized by the grenades back in the casino already.
Yep.
He is leading his army ahead of the helicopter by zombie horse. When the helicopter left while he was literally in the coyote's face growling. That's a little,
No, the time
little
jump
off on
is
time.
fucking stupid because that's true. And now here it is. This is the most biggest rip from Aliens. If you remember Aliens.
And it was so unneeded. It was just so like fast. It was like 5 minutes long. Like there was no need for this.
He wants that emotional impact. It literally is the end of Aliens. You go there, so he's like on the chopper with the pilot going, hey, look, we have to go to this place to get my daughter. And then the pilot's like, we can't. We're not going to have enough time.
There's like literally 9 minutes left.
Not enough time. Down to the point where literally it's a countdown in Aliens. The nuclear reactor was going to go off and she went to go find Newt.
Yep.
Batista goes to this place to try and find the daughter, finds the daughter, like literally, and he goes, same exact conversation she has with Bishop on the fucking Aliens. Like, you better not fucking leave me. Hicks, don't let him leave, that kind of thing. He's like, don't leave me. Don't fuck me on this. She's like, just get your daughter. And then she goes down, gets the daughter. You know, obviously they run into King Zombie somehow is in the hallway.
Grenade launcher.
He missed. He fucking
I
missed.
feel like he deliberately missed for some reason. No, he didn't, right? It was a direct shot. It just went past him and hit the wall.
It hit the wall and it blew him out.
Okay.
They
Even
go up.
if he missed, man, like
the
speed he got back up. Well, she left.
Yeah, well, and this is another thing I'll point out later. This King Zombie is supposed to be resilient as fuck, right? Like, he's dodging bullets, he's doing all this crap, right? Remember that.
Yeah.
We go up to they run up to the thing, and guess what? The helicopter's not there, just like in Aliens. Oh no, they left us, you son of a bitch! Oh, you left. And then she comes back and she like picks them up.
Even says like, "Oh, I thought about leaving."
Yeah,
and all that
like
shit.
yeah. But in Aliens, obviously Bishop's like, "Oh yeah, the thing is unstable. I didn't want to stay. Whatever." So same exact fucking scenario, and I'm like waiting to like, all right, are they gonna go the full 9 where they like think they got away, but King Zombie's like on the bottom, and then like later on, you know what I mean? This is literally the end of Aliens up until this point where it becomes World War Z again, where the guy goes on the roof. They're trying to get away, and the guy like is lunging off of the side to get to the helicopter and gets inside and starts fighting Batista.
Some piloting skills too.
Oh, yeah,
she
no.
dropped like 80, 100 feet, like no problem, and then just picked that bitch up.
Oh
like,
yeah, well that was just straight up movie magic because there's no way in
Yeah.
fuck that would actually happen. And this is the one time I actually like the pilot because throughout this whole movie I'm like, she's just kind of unnecessary like humor that didn't really land with me. And
she was like that dry humor.
And also the thing that killed me was just I like her character, but they play too much into that whole I'm like the tough kind of like pilot kind of thing, just that does wisecracks, and that's all she is. And that actress is actually just from a lot of sitcoms and does like little bit roles.
Okay.
I think this might have been her first major role. So it's like you still need some work, but I could see you as a character actress, that kind of thing.
I enjoyed her.
Yeah, no.
honestly.
I didn't think the character was
Dana
terrible.
looked at me at the point where they're like, "Yo, $2 million? You want to know the job?" Nope. She's like, "Why is that you?" I was like, "Because money rules all."
That's so true. At this point, so like he's fighting with King Zombie on the plane, on the helicopter. I keep saying airplane, on the helicopter, and it's this whole thing. And I'm waiting for the Train to Busan rip where the bite happens, and then the daughter. I thought the daughter was gonna throw them both off of the fucking helicopter, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Didn't happen.
Gita's on the helicopter too.
Gita's on the
Let's
helicopter
remember
too, by
this
the way.
point.
Gita's on the
Because
helicopter
this
too,
is
by
a
the way.
major thing.
So they're fighting on the helicopter, and then this whole thing, once again, just like Aliens, they finally get out of the city because the pilot, because she gets shot in the middle of this. The pilot.
Oh yeah, the zombie jumps into the plane. They're battling. They aim the fucking gun, shoots her through the arm. I thought it was a kill shot.
Yeah,
I
me too.
honestly thought it was a kill shot, and her brains were all over that fucking thing, and
Yeah.
they weren't getting out of Vegas, and they were gonna run from a nuclear explosion. But it was the shoulder. She
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
dead, so she
Yeah.
had to power through pain.
Which is pretty cool. Like I
Yeah.
said, the pilot won me over by the end. But then, like at the same time, like the zombie and the Batista are going at it, and she's like literally just like the end of fucking Aliens. She's zooming away, and you see the fucking nuke come down. If you even want to go this way, like the Crazies, if you remember that
Yes.
movie,
Okay.
where the thing is coming down, and then they're driving away or trying to get away, and then you just see the thing go off, and you see the explosion behind them, and they're trying to get away from the explosion. I think at the last minute before the explosion finally hits them, Batista shoots the zombie in the head.
Yes.
Right? But
Yeah.
and this is what annoys me. It's like This zombie
But it was
came-
like such a thing. Like the gun was chilling on like the edge of the fucking helicopter, and it's like with everything that was going on, that gun would have fell out. Like, let's be
Yes.
real.
Yes.
But it was like they weren't moving. The gun just stayed in the perfect spot, balancing half out of the helicopter, half in the helicopter. And even though they're going through this turbulence, this bitch was shot in the shoulder and everything. Like, gun stays there.
Okay, the zombie gets shot in the head. I forgot it was either Batista or Batista's daughter, Kate, that did
I think it was Batista.
Batista.
I
So-
think they like work her up to be more than she is, but Batista did it.
Yeah,
Like,
and the thing that killed is like this zombie survived through so much. Where like at a, just this one shot to the head, no one before this point had ever given a shot to him in the head. A sniper didn't come in at some point and try and
Yeah.
take this guy out. I don't care if he had the Captain America helmet on. You can poke right through the fucking eye.
and that, bro. Let's be real. Like a 50 cal through that shit. Like
He would have got
you're
cut in
only
half.
taking a couple. Like this dude took multiple pistol rounds to the fucking head. A vest is only going to take a few before it starts to fall apart, and you're fucked.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
And it's just like, why was just because it's the end of the movie? That's the only reason that they killed this guy, this King Zombie. And I'm like, that is fucking bullshit. Like, come
Yeah.
on. There's so many times this guy could have died
He's like
before.
literally immortal.
Yeah, up until
It's
this
just plot
point.
armor.
Up until this point. And then finally, they crash land the helicopter. Pilot dies, obviously. Oh, by the way,
Impaled
why-
by the.
yeah,
How did the propeller get
That-
through that angle? Like, I
well-
get it. Like, the propellers are a scary ass thing when a helicopter crashes, but to like the momentum, how is it going to come
no, it just
backwards
doesn't make sense.
towards the way of the helicopter when it's going forward?
Not only that, I think
Yeah,
it's just
the pilot got impaled by one of the propellers somehow.
this is
I don't know how, but
this is part of the laundry list of fucking cliches that he goes in. Because if
yeah,
you look
just
at a
kill
lot,
her, like,
if you look at a lot of movies, the pilot and a lot of stuff always gets impaled.
oh yeah,
Always. Like I'll even mention like two movies straight up. The Firefly one. It starts with an S.
Serenity.
Yes,
It
Serenity.
is Serenity. I never
Serenity.
watched it, so yeah, but Serenity.
One of the
Okay.
pilots gets impaled, and it's obviously it's an emotional moment, that kind of thing. Same thing with you. Have you seen Greenland yet? The new Comet movie.
I did not.
It's awesome,
Okay.
but same thing. Pilot fucking dies, gets impaled by something, and gives him like that last go this way. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But obviously she didn't
even
get
that.
She didn't get
was-
that last
she was
line.
Fucking
But the
dead.
thing is, it's like, oh, you got to like her by the end. Oh, she's impaled now.
And Gita vanishes.
And then, by the way, Gita's
There's
with
no
them
Gita body. There's no Gita corpse. There's just no Gita.
to get back to the
gone.
children too. You don't know if they got out of
Fuck
the camp.
kids.
You don't know if
That's
they got
what
out of
this
the
movie's
camp.
point is.
And the nuke hit. The camp is right outside of there.
Yep.
They're dead. Like, I mean, I don't know what to tell. They're dead. Like, unless they were the last people in the camp and they weren't leaving
Unless
without
they
mom.
got on that boat, that
bus.
boat.
Bus.
Oh my
Yeah, bu-
God.
Yeah, bus.
This is why I don't drink.
You know what? No. Well, you know what? With this movie, I would be surprised they left on a boat. If they, because that's how blessed this movie doesn't make any fucking sense. They're dead. Like they're dead because they.
Yeah, Gita's family's dead.
Yeah, like Gita
Nobody
and
sounds-
that whole subplot of getting that's gone. And you know what it is?
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
Batista got bit in that fight too.
yeah, he got
I
bit.
forgot that part.
And then they do the whole. And here's the thing: a lot of these zombie movies and stuff have this scene where like the daughter or a family member has to kill like their loved one because they got bit.
I liked it in this because she hated the father for killing the stepmom.
Well, it
And
wasn't
then
because of that.
Well, she claims it wasn't because of that. I'm gonna go with this because of that because I think
It's
that's a
part of
cooler.
it. It's
I think
part of
that's
it.
a cooler storyline right now for
Okay.
this part.
Okay.
The father gets bit, so obviously he's gonna turn, and she has to kill her father. So she
Almost like
had
some
this
kind of poetic
grudge
justice.
against her father for so long for killing her mother or stepmother. We still have no idea which one it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to rewatch this movie either to find out. But anyway, I thought it was kind of cool that she had to kill her father. So Dave Bautista dies at the end of this movie. And it's kind of like, listen, like you hated your father for so long, but now you had to do the thing that your father did.
And
And
here's the thing
you have
about
to
that.
live with it
and
now.
I got that, and it was like, okay, I see what they were doing, but it's just like it's so formulaic. I'm like, I saw
Yeah.
that coming. You know that was coming.
Oh, yeah,
You
100%.
knew that was, and that's the thing. And so we get to this. The daughter freaking shoots Batista, and a rescue helicopter just magically comes.
All right, let's be real. If a rescue helicopter is flying to that zone, number one, it's not a rescue helicopter. It's a helicopter to make sure that nothing made it out of that zone.
Fair point.
Let's be fucking realistic here. They're dropping a nuke there, and they know they evacuated everyone. That helicopter wasn't there to save Kate. That helicopter was there to kill her ass, but obviously that's not what the movie went. She probably gets on the helicopter and leaves, but you don't see the end of her storyline. That's just that. The helicopter lands next to the crashed helicopter.
And then you would think that'd be the end, and I'm like, but nope. Dylan brought this up before. You see the rubble of Las Vegas, and then you see someone come out of a hatch, and it ends up being Vans with a bunch of money because he got out of the safe.
Yep.
And he's just walking through the desert. By the way.
But it's also like a nuclear fallout. Like, it's like tornadoes and lightning and all this shit.
Oh, well, I mean, it's also because he's in the plains, too. Like,
you think that's why?
Yeah,
it was
just I mean, it could have been fallout and stuff. But either way, when you see them, just like, yeah, it's cool you got out, dude. But you do realize that you just have a ton of radiation poisoning now, right?
Oh, 100%.
Like, you're dead regardless.
Because they said it was a low level. They didn't say it wasn't a nuke. So there's still radiation.
And he's still in the center of the city.
Yeah, and you don't know how long he was actually down in there for either.
Yeah. And
I would assume it was only like a day or two.
And it's not radioactively, like, sealed, those fucking things.
No, hell no.
So he's, like, you know, like,
even if it was sealed, he's walking through all of Vegas before he's out of the drop zone, and then walking through all of the rest of the zone that's been fucking eradicated. And if you make it out of the eradication zone or the kill zone or whatever, ground zero, you're in fucking Death Valley where it's like 120, 140 degrees.
Which I still don't know how
haven't had water, you haven't had food, you're dead. You're dead. But
he should have been dead. But anyway, so he goes out, he manages to get to some private airfield and says, I want to rent a plane to go to Mexico. And he pulls out all his cash and they're like, all right, whatever. They go on the plane, and you know this is coming.
Yep.
You go on the plane, he's feeling woozy, he's trying to celebrate. Next thing you know, he's like, oh, I'm good. He's trying to, like, have shots or something with the stewardesses, and he goes into the bathroom, he sees he has a bite mark.
And he's like, fuck.
And then it just says, oh, we're landing now in Mexico, and then it just cuts to credits. And I'm just like, there's your sequel. So, for the most part, for this movie, my biggest gripe with this whole movie is that it takes so much from other things that just, like, I can't appreciate it because you're just taking things from other things to make people like this movie, and all you're doing is just alienating the fan base that you're trying to get.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything original about the movie.
There's nothing original about it.
Besides for the way they were going with the zombies, but they never got into it.
They don't explain it, and maybe with the next movie they might, but they fucking ruined this franchise from the get-go already, to me. You know what I'm saying? And Zack Snyder, like, yo, like, you made one good zombie movie. You nailed it with Dawn of the Dead. It was awesome. Amazing remake.
Honestly, that remake, I don't think there's a remake that's that good.
No, there isn't.
Period. That was such a good remake.
It was
and
good.
It still had originality to it. It was still a little bit of its own thing.
The zombies weren't fucking walkers. They were running zombies.
That shit was scary.
Yeah, it was
I saw that in 9th grade. I was 14 years old. That movie was fucking crazy.
And it was like, it shows the futility of a zombie apocalypse. Like, you're probably not going to make it out. You can try your best, but you're not going to make it out. And it's just like, even the end credits where they make it to the island and everything just goes bad.
It's still hopeless.
It's still hopeless. And it's an amazing movie. And it stayed. And granted, you're right. It is a George Romero property, and it stuck to the George Romero theme where it's really hopeless. Humanity's fucked. That kind of whole thing. But the way he directed it, I thought it was awesome. It's a great remake.
It was kind of like if you were to compare, like, I don't want to say compare. I'm not comparing. That's not what I mean. But it's like, you had that, like, creative way to go a different route than you originally did, like what they did with the Walking Dead comic book versus the TV show.
Yes.
They go different routes, and they experiment ways that it could have been differently done, like in the TV show compared to the comic. And I feel like the Dawn of the Dead remake, you know, it added some new things, it took out some old things, but all in all, like, it was amazing.
Yeah, like, you didn't have, like, cops and a girl, like, stuck in a mall. It was like a bunch of people. It was different.
There was no biker gang.
They threw in this whole thing with because I don't even know if they had this in that whole idea of Andy, the guy, the gun shop owner.
He was not.
No,
there was no Andy.
That was a really cool thing, especially when you got to the DVD commentary features where you show Andy's progression into insanity, or, like, they had all these things. You had a good zombie property. You know how zombie movies are supposed to go, and you fucked this up. You royally fucked this up. Like, and this is a Zack Snyder thing too. I'm going to blame Zack Snyder for most of this shit because the thing about Zack Snyder is he is bad at making original material. He's good at adapting things to an extent because, once again, Dawn of the Dead, awesome remake. The Watchmen movie, not a bad comic adaptation.
He did the Watchmen movie?
He
did that movie?
Yeah.
I actually like that. I
Yeah,
don't know
it's not
anything
bad.
about the comic, and I never saw the TV show, but that was a fun movie.
The TV show has really nothing to do. That's more of like a sequel to the movie, almost.
It's like an after?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
But the movie was actually pretty true to the comic,
Okay.
except for like little things here and there. But it wasn't bad. I liked it. Like, it had his Zack Snyder's. He'll throw in random music montages and all that other shit. Things will be too long. Like, they have an uncut version. And I thought it was still good. I thought it was all right. Justice League, his cut was pretty fucking good. Too fucking long, but...
Yeah, it's 4 hours,
yeah,
right?
it could have been
It's
like...
Endgame
It
level.
could have been 3 hours like Endgame and it'd been fine.
Okay.
It was good. I liked it. Like, I went in hating, like, wanting to hate it because I saw the original. And the original, it clearly was not his fault the original was that bad.
Well, I heard a lot of things were taken out of the original,
Yes, and
that's
this one-
what
and then-
kind of killed it.
And the new one, his version was awesome. He can adapt material, but when he makes his own, that's when it gets fucked up. Because he threw in so much shit from other properties. He's like, I want to do my own Game of Thrones. I want to do my own Aliens. I want to do my own Land of the Dead. I want to do my own fucking World War Z. I want to do... But he wants it
Escape from LA.
all... Escape from LA. He wants it all in one movie. If you look at this movie he did too, another original, it was called Sucker Punch.
I never watched it because that
Amazing.
whole like hyper crazy like graphic thing just throws me off.
Once again, he's like Michael Bay's brain dead brother, where he just loves that shit. And the visuals in that movie are amazing. The way he executed the story was bullshit because it was really bad. And like I said, visuals are awesome, and the idea, the concept behind it was good, but he kept trying to throw in so much shit where it's just like, dude, just stick with an idea, minimalize it, and you'll be okay. If you just take away his budget, I think, he would make better movies.
Okay.
Almost like M. Night Shyamalan. I feel like when M. Night Shyamalan got a bigger budget, he'd fuck shit up. But when you give him nothing, and he makes stuff like The Visit, and it's awesome.
Visit was a great movie.
Visit was
I
awesome.
love that one.
And I blame most of the movie's failings on Zack Snyder at this point, just because he could have had a tight, like, 1.5 hour, like, heist zombie movie. Campy, just gore, and throw in all the cliches you want. Awesome. But he made it 2.5 hours of straight up rip-offs from every other fucking movie.
Yeah.
I'm not co-signing with this movie. I fucking hated this. Like, I really did not like, and I was trying to roll with it. I was trying my best to roll with it. But like I said, my analogy for this, it's like that kid just spitting spitballs at your face until you finally just snap and go to jail.
I won't argue that on that then. Yeah, a lot of this movie pissed me off now that we're reviewing it and going over it and just talking about certain things that went on in it. But I don't know.
If you shut
If you shut your brain off
Yes.
and just watch this movie and not care about little details or side things or stuff like that and just pretend it's not fucking there, especially the bad parts, I don't know. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It was crazy.
like, here's the thing. Like I said, like, this is the type of movie I don't like because it brings out that fanboy in me I don't want to bring out. And it's not even just like the zombie fanboy. It's film. It's sci-fi. It's like you attacked everything that I like because you took from everything that I like to make this bullshit ass zombie movie. And it's just like, no, fuck you. You're not doing this to me. All right. I know Netflix gave you a budget, Zack Snyder, but that doesn't mean you need to use fucking all of it. Just do what Tyler Perry does. Pocket half of it and make a shitty, schlocky 1.5 hour movie. Do that. I won't care if you steal the other half of the money. Just fucking do the schlocky fucking zombie movie and let me have fun. But no, you had to throw in all this extra shit. You had to throw in all these weird tones where you had to make it serious but not serious. Like, just fucking stick to one thing. Make your own shit. Don't take from other people like this and try to pass it off like it's original. I'll like I said, there's certain things in this movie I like. Like I said, Batista. Someone give this guy a dramatic role just so he can just get it out of his system, because he clearly has all of this built-up acting in him that he can't get out, and he's putting it in this shit. Just like The Rock. The Rock did an amazing dramatic role in San Andreas, of all fucking movies.
Are you kidding me?
I'm dead serious. It's almost like Batista in this, where it's just like, are you trying to get an Oscar for this? Because, like, you're putting your all into this for no fucking reason.
He's a firefighter in that movie, right?
Yeah, and it's a disaster movie. But you see his face. Like, there's a part in that movie. He's like going up this ridiculous tsunami in a speedboat, and you see his face. He's concerned. He's sad. He's trying to get to his daughter. And I'm just like, wow, this is a bullshit movie, but you're really trying here. Same thing with this. And I'm like, someone give Batista a better role, because he is trying his damnedest right now. And I commend that 100%.
Watch Bushwick.
I gotta watch
it's
that. I gotta watch that.
I don't think his acting was that good in it, but Bushwick was kind of a cool movie. And it's another movie with Batista. He plays like an ex-Marine in it. Okay. And it's about essentially it's about Texas, Kentucky, and a few other states decide to subside from the U.S. or secede. Yeah, I'm an idiot.
We're drunk. It's fine.
And invade New York. And they decide to go to Bushwick because they're like, well, New York, liberal, they don't got guns. It's simple. But watch the movie. It's funny.
That's insane. All right, I'll check that out. Because like I said, after this, the only positive I'm going to take out of this is, once again, Batista put his all into this. I really want to see what else he can do.
I won't argue his acting. He definitely acted as well as he could in this movie.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Like, he definitely wanted to show off that he can act.
Yes. Like, I feel like this was a highlight reel for him and Zack Snyder. And honestly, the rest of the actors, Batista's girlfriend or supposed girlfriend through this whole thing, because you don't really notice that until the very end. She's in a lot of movies.
Especially since he had a girl, like, before this.
Yeah, like Tanaka. Like, these are some good actors and actresses that they have peppered in with just some minor actors, bit actors, and sitcom actors. Everybody phoned the acting in except for Batista. Everybody else just kind of just did their thing. Like, the pilot, she has that kind of attitude in a lot of the sitcoms she plays.
Okay.
She has that same kind of like, oh, whatever attitude.
That's just her.
Yeah, that's just her. So it's just like she wasn't really acting that much, even though I kind of want to see if she could do more character acting, because there's some people that can take off like that. Even like the dude that was Tanaka's right-hand man, he was a sitcom dude. He does more comedy stuff. He couldn't do this role because he just came off way too doofy to me, especially the way his mouth is and shit.
He wasn't like serious at any point.
No, and like
as some sort of like secretive operative.
Yeah, and also
operator.
I thought there was this weird thing where like, because I remember in the beginning where like they showed the queen and he's like looking at her, he looks teary-eyed. I'm like, oh, is this some weird shit where like that's his wife or something? He's trying to get her back, and I'm like, but no, it was some bullshit that he's just trying to get more money, you know, that kind of thing. But yeah, overall for this movie, I can't co-sign with this. This is some bullshit. Like, this is some fucking ass dumpster fire bullshit, and I have my reasons. And you know what? To Dylan's credit, for most people, if you want just something really mindless and just put it in the background,
you got to have time though.
Yeah, you go for it.
Because it's long.
Like, I feel like this is something they put like in the corner of like, I don't know, like a bar or something, and just put it in the background. It's just visuals and shit. Because that's all it really is at a certain point. It's just visuals. Because the acting is like, except for Batista, I'm gonna say that, and maybe even Tanaka even phoned it in. It was ass. Everything else about this movie, like, I can't even say the cinematography in this was really that good, because there's really basic cinematography.
With
some of
weird blurring.
Weird blur effects, because I don't know, maybe this is Zack Snyder, like I said, trying new things to try and make his films look less crisp, to make it look gritty, and it just didn't come off well. Like, it was just like, like I said, is there something wrong with my TV? Like, I don't know if this is like part of the movie or it's my fucking equipment. But nah, I don't like this movie. It was bad.
All right. I still thought it was fun.
Okay.
I had fun shredding it and going in on it, but I still enjoyed the watch. I'm definitely probably not going to ever revisit it unless I'm like
really bored.
Don't know what else to do. It's on in the background, and I'm like, something that you don't need to pay attention to, really.
Yeah, no, you
let it play, and you can pick it up at whatever point it's at, and you're like, oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, if you look, literally, if there's something that came on like cable or something, and cable will cut down the movie, honestly, and make it shorter and shit. So that actually might be a better version of this movie.
I can't wait for the Zack Snyder cut.
Oh, where it's like, what, 5 hours long? And there's still no character development? All right, but anyway, so yeah, for me, this movie, fucking ass. This was bad. I wanted something campy and fun, and they just made me pissed off. That's it for me.
You wanted Z Nation, and you didn't get it.
Yes. I wanted Z Nation, because Z Nation is like the campy, dumbass version of Walking Dead, and that's what I wanted. That's what I want, and I didn't get it. Anyway, so fuck you guys. I don't care if you really listen to this, or if you had any problems with anything that we had to say, put it in the comments, and I'll just argue with you, because you're probably fucking wrong. Anyways, so.
Sounds about right.
Yep, that's about right. So fuck you guys, and thank you for listening.
Bye.